welcome back to the Kit and Krysta podcast, episode 37. We're getting very close to Halloween.
Happy Halloween, by the way. Look at our wonderful set.
Yeah, all these cool decorations up on our set. It's very festive. It's not scary, which is good.
Spoopy.
I have a lot of
That's the vibe.
Spoopy is the vibe. Yes. Today, we are approaching the 5th anniversary for Super Mario Odyssey.
Well, depending on when you're listening to this, it might be the anniversary.
Yeah.
The day.
The actual day.
And believe it or not, as with a lot of these things, we were deeply involved in that game.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, I think this was, one of the biggest non-Nintendo Minute highlights of our careers at Nintendo.
I think so, yeah.
And we shared it together, which is wonderful.
We did, and we shared it with Reggie as well.
Yes.
So there's a lot of really cool inside stories about the launch of Super Mario Odyssey that we're going to tell you about in today's Nintendo Storytime.
Right.
Which will be really fun to relive those great memories. And then we had just tons of stuff happen that we need to catch you guys up on.
We have a special crossover, Never a Minute,
it's gonna be,
which you will not.
It's going to be
amazing.
Yes. As always, everything on the Kit and Krysta channel is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon subscribers. Right. Everything is made possible by them. So if you're not a Patreon already, please consider joining us. We are patreon.com/Kit and Krysta.
I'm going to deeply bow right now.
That's
about as far as I can go.
To the wonderful...
to all of the subscribers
that we have right now, who are just lovely, and we have so much fun every day with them on our Patreon-only Discord. They get to ask all of the questions that you hear in our Q&A. They get bonus Q&As. We're about to get ready for our monthly One-Up Club Superstars meetup.
It's going to be a great Halloween party for all of us.
Halloween party, which is going to be really fun. So, yeah, if you haven't joined us, consider doing that.
Get in for as little as $2 a month.
Yes.
And stick around. If you like it, who knows? Maybe you will become one of our vaunted superstars.
Ooh, they're in charge.
I have to say it in hushed tones.
They are in charge of everything.
Superstars.
Yes, awesome. Well, we have just returned from a wonderful trip to New York City.
Boy, are my arms tired.
Your arms are tired? Why are your arms tired?
We just flew back. That's the joke. That's the terrible joke, you see?
Joke.
And you didn't even get it.
Because it was so bad. It was horrible. What kind of... No one's going to pay to see that.
You ruined this terrible joke.
Your arms are tired.
We came back... I've lost track of time. Today's Monday. We came back
on
Saturday night.
Late. Yeah,
right.
Pretty late on Saturday.
Yeah.
But it was a great trip. We have not been to New York in over...
We don't know.
Over 3 years.
Is what we decided.
It's been a long time.
We don't know when the last trip was.
But we went there because we were filming a really cool collab with Non-Tendo.
Correct.
Which is Wolf Den, Bob from Wolf Den, and Wood from Beat 'em Ups.
Right.
And, you guys might know about the little bit of drama that we've had in the past when we were at Nintendo with Wood. We kind of aired the laundry, spilled the tea.
The hash was settled.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
We might have fought them.
We came out as some new people on both sides. Both
did.
Of us. Yeah.
There was some closure.
I think so.
There were some catharsis. But overall, it was just the most wonderful time meeting and hanging out with them, making new friends and getting to know them. And it was really wonderful.
Right.
We had a great time.
That episode's out now, by the way.
Yes.
So you should check it out.
On their channel.
You should also subscribe to them.
Non-Tendo.
And also subscribe to Wood and Bob. I wonder if they have the same problem we do where Kit and Krysta get shortened in the YouTube podcast to Kit and Krysta.
Oh,
do they get Wooden Bob?
Wooden Bob?
A Bob made of wood? Do they have that problem?
Some sort of Bob puppet?
I don't know. Like a Pinocchio situation?
Pinocchio Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cute. I hope so. They should make that if it's not the case. They
Right.
should make a wooden Bob.
Yeah. I don't know about you, when they contacted us and said, hey, we'd like to have you out to do this podcast, my guard did go up a small amount.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I was like, okay, well, we definitely
have drama.
We've hinted at this, and we've more than hinted at it. We may have been involved in you getting dropped from the Nintendo Creators Program.
Right.
So I wasn't sure, I'm sure we're going to talk about that, but I don't know what the angle's going to be. Could this be an ambush? Could this be a setup?
Yeah.
Again, how much of an ambush could it be in a podcast?
Right, exactly. What are you going to do?
So either way, we were glad to do it. But those guys are sweet and awesome.
Oh my God, nicest guys ever.
Very happy to add them to our list of friends.
Yeah. And I think, again, it was just that is something that we could never have done at Nintendo because we weren't allowed to say what actually happened when we
Right.
were working there. So to get the opportunity to like just talk about it like, as real people, like, you know, in person with them,
Right.
and kind of like just tell them all the inside stuff that happened, and then they told us like what happened on their side. Like that was incredibly like nice, and again, it was very cathartic, I think, for all of us.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, we're very happy to do that, and it was so much fun. We also have Wood and Bob on the Never a Minute character bracket.
Coming up in mere minutes.
In mere minutes.
Right.
In this episode that you're listening to right
Yes.
now. So it was just the most, and we had so much fun,
Yeah.
really, with them. So yeah, it was great. We also
definitively chose the scariest video game character.
really did.
And I'm happy with the results.
we really did, and we really took again a very scientific approach
As usual.
that they Wood and Bob also got on board with, which I was
Yeah,
happy about.
yeah.
Our method,
Yeah.
our hypothesis,
Our tiebreaker.
our tiebreaker.
We won't spoil it.
We won't spoil
No.
it. Well, of course, we also vlogged everything that we did in New York.
You had a great idea for this vlog. This was your idea.
I wanted to do this because more so for myself than
Oh.
because I just wanted to see. But you know, when we were at Nintendo, we would go to New York a lot, like quite, you know.
Too much.
Sometimes
one
too
could
much.
argue.
Yeah, sometimes too much. But we would be there, you know, 4, 5, 6 times a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of events, lots of, you know, big sort of moments happened
Mm-hmm.
in New York when we were at Nintendo, and I thought it would be really fun for us to kind of do a little trip down memory lane a bit, and visit some of the old locations where we have had these iconic Nintendo events. And we also visited the old New York Nintendo office, which
Right.
not many of you may know where that is. That office obviously
It's not there anymore.
since
But,
closed.
yeah.
But again, it was a place that we, you know, worked out of a lot
Right.
and have a lot of memories there. And so it was really fun to like go back to all these old locations. We, of course, visited Nintendo New York as well.
Mm-hmm.
We walked through the door and like there were just so many people that came up and said hi to us. The staff was still all there. It was wonderful to see them. Like we've spent so many hours with the staff from that store, you know, planning events and working
Right.
together. So it was lovely to see everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the New York office there was a guy who had like an office that was kind of separate? It's like he wasn't part of Nintendo of America. He was part of some other part of Nintendo.
Yeah.
But he was in New York.
Right,
And it was like,
right.
don't go in there. He's working on something. It was like the Skunk Works or something.
It was.
What was that all about?
He was part of, what is that place in Redmond that does like all of
NST?
NST.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. He was part of NST.
He was the East Coast branch, this little closet
Just
that
in
he
the
had, this
but it
broom
was like
closet.
a windowless room
Yeah.
where the door was always locked.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
in
but
there?
everyone's like, don't interfere.
Don't
with what's going on
interfere,
in there.
don't bother
even look,
him.
Don't stay out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't secrets. There's secrets
Right.
in there. It's like the treehouse, but
Yeah.
for one person. A
I
treehouse
mean,
for
he always
one.
looked like he would love to talk to somebody, but we were always dissuaded.
I know.
from
Sometimes
doing
you
that.
see him getting the coffee or in the break room, but usually he was locked away in his little room
Yeah,
by
yeah.
himself, which seems kind of lonely.
Right, right.
But yeah, great New York trip. Lots of good memories, new friends, delicious food. We
Right.
shared all with you in the vlog. So look out for that.
I just gotta say, before we move on,
Hmm.
JFK, worst airport in America?
Oh my gosh, JFK. I have no words. We gave them a bad review.
Get your act together, JFK.
huge airport
Get it together.
in a
One of the
major
biggest-
city
yes.
in the world.
One of the biggest, most important airports in the world.
Why
Struggling
are
to do
you terrible?
basic tasks. Struggling.
It was
Yes.
a real struggle. And also that drive from JFK into the city.
Harrowing.
Always
has been, always will be.
Soul-crushingly harrowing.
Right.
There's got to be a better way, as they say.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't know what that way is. But other than that, wonderful time
Also,
in New York.
harrowing and soul crushing was the guy who tapped me on the shoulder on the flight. He's like, "Oh, so you're a YouTuber?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, that's
And
right.
he said, "Don't you think Web3 and the blockchain could solve a lot of the problems you're having with YouTube?" And I said, "Well, I'm not actually having a lot of problems with YouTube at the moment, but okay.
okay.
Like what kind of problems?"
But
And
he
was like,
went on
I don't
and
know.
on
He
and
did.
on. And I did the move where I put my headphones on and just like
"Well, good
ignored
for
him.
you. You just kept me hanging there. What could I do?"
put your headphones on.
In the middle of the conversation?
Yeah.
This always happens to me.
This happens to you a lot.
People like to talk to me.
People love to talk to you.
And I really don't want to talk to these people.
Which is really weird because you specifically don't want to talk to anybody.
So in conclusion, if you enjoy this channel, you enjoy what we do, please feel free to come up and say hi. I would love to talk to you. But if you want to talk to me about how the blockchain and NFTs and Web3 will solve all my problems, please think twice.
Don't talk to me.
Yes.
Especially when you're trapped on an airplane.
Kami has got his rules and so do I. Follow him, people.
Blocked. Blocked chain.
Across the aisle. No, that's not how you do it.
It was long-winded, too.
Yeah.
It really was. We were trying to work, actually, so it was a little much.
What were we working on? Look at this segue. The Until Dawn video, which is out now.
We were working on the Until Dawn video on the plane, which is our... We did so much like stuff that I was uncomfortable with for that video, honestly. Like we filmed at night, forced to play a scary game that I normally don't play.
I left the room.
You left the room.
I was making scary sounds on the wall.
You were.
Behind you.
In the dark. We played in the dark, turned all the lights off. But the whole premise of this video, which is pretty fun, at the end I was like, okay. But basically we were using our Apple Watches to measure our heart rates. And if our heart rates dropped below a certain beats per minute, like a scary thing would happen to us. Like if it's below this number, then the lights turn off. If it's below another number, then you would have to play alone or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it ended up being really fun. That game has like so many jump scares.
It does.
So I apologize in advance if my screaming will like blow your eardrums. The audio, just be aware.
Well, we found, so this video is haunted, people have found out. We found this glitch.
There's a glitch where I disappear.
Where you disappear. You like become ghostly for like a second. And we were like, how can we fix this glitch in the video? And we didn't know. So it's like, it's only for a moment, maybe people won't mind it. But people definitely have seen it and are talking about it.
And people got scared by it. Maybe it is a ghost.
You are the ghost. What do you mean it's a ghost? It was you. You're the ghost. So this whole ruse of yours of, oh, I'm scared, I don't like scary things. No, you're a ghost.
Okay, sure, fine. I can't argue with that, I guess. I can't argue with that.
No, you can't. It's in video now. You tried to cut out the truth, but I wouldn't let you.
I didn't cut out the truth.
But that's a very fun video, a very fun way to celebrate Halloween as well.
Yes, exactly. We're full on in our SHOCK-tober. Spooky.
Next week.
It's over. It's all over.
It's not SHOCK-tober anymore.
It's all over next week. But
right
now we're deep in it, and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun for sure.
Right.
It's a little scary, but definitely fun.
This week we're also doing something that we haven't really done before. That we have been talking about. Like, gosh, we really need to get around to doing this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start doing reaction videos to old Nintendo Minute videos.
Yes.
And we've been talking like, gosh, is this the best way for, should we stream this? Should we just record a very straightforward reaction? This one we're just going to be recording here in the studio, us react, because it's the Super Mario Odyssey anniversary.
Yeah.
One of our videos for that game, which I didn't know this was one of your favorite Nintendo Minute videos.
Episodes is a video that we did playing co-op Super Mario Odyssey. And yeah, I think it's fun for us to, again, like look back on these like really great memories and tell you a little inside stuff about like what all went on for these kinds of videos.
Right.
I did watch it last night, and I was like shocked at myself because we were speaking so properly, like all.
Don't spoil.
Okay.
Save it for that, please. Excuse you.
But I was just like, oh, this is like a different person. Like, oh my goodness, this is not.
Did you hate your past self?
No, I didn't. But I was just like, oh, I was like really professional. Not anymore. Now I'm just like a ghost vagrant, apparently. So.
Ghosts don't need manners.
I don't need manners, and I don't need to be professional anymore.
So you'll see that. Maybe you'll see us doing a stream with like a little like hangout Q&A kind of thing later.
We're gonna try out different ways of doing it.
We want to find out the best way to do it, but if there's a way that you like better, please let us know.
Yeah, but we definitely want to do these. And if you have a favorite Nintendo Minute episode from our past that you want us to react to, drop it in the comments and we will put it. I mean, there's over 400, so we gotta prioritize some of the good ones.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So another busy week.
Yes.
Before we get into our story time, we have some words from our sponsor, ExpressVPN.
Thank you. I think people have a bit of a misconception as to like what VPN is for sometimes. For me, it's a way to have just really secure internet.
Right.
And like when you Google something, or sometimes even when I'm like talking to my friend about something, immediately afterwards
you get the ad.
You get like 40 million ads for that like product or like that topic you were talking about. I'm like, who is listening to me? You know, like I always wonder like how they do that so quickly.
And sometimes it's not even stuff that you are serious about buying. It's just like, oh, I just want to learn more about this. And now you're bombarded with ads for the rest of your life. No more.
I don't want that.
No.
Like, stop it.
No.
But no more. Because if you use ExpressVPN, you do have this really secure way to protect your search history. And like, you know, you have like incognito mode. That actually doesn't work.
That is not enough.
That's not enough at all. Your internet
Take it from us.
Can see all of your web searches.
Yikes.
Awkward. So
2019 Bodhi candidates. Oh
exactly.
no.
I have Googled that, honestly.
Best video game butts.
Best video game butts.
ExpressVPN is here.
Disney Dreamlight Valley butts. Like, no, you guys. You're gonna get inundated by butts, okay?
I'm doing scientific research for Game of the Year.
Exactly.
And Butt of the Year.
But yeah, it reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers.
And it encrypts it as well.
Yes.
How does that work? I don't know, but I trust it.
100% of your data is encrypted.
That's right.
100%.
And it's all happening in the background, so it's not in your face or anything like that. Get it on your phone, get it on your computer, even your smart TV. That's great.
No excuses.
All these places
to protect
you're searching.
your privacy.
So, protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by Business Insider. Visit our exclusive link, expressvpn.com/KitKrysta, and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/KitKrysta, expressvpn.com/KitKrysta to learn more.
Link is here as usual and in the description below.
Indeed.
All right.
On to Storytime.
On to Storytime.
The 5-year anniversary of Super Mario Odyssey.
9.
So this was a really interesting kind of moment in time for us. I felt like this launch sort of started a transition for us into like both of our different lines of work after we eventually departed the PR team.
Right.
But it felt like the big like swan song because at that time we were both still on that team.
Yeah, it was like the last year or so that we were on this team. It was a really obviously important year for the company as well because we had just launched Switch.
Yeah, it was the end of this crazy year. You know, this was the big, I guess Xenoblade came after, but this was, you know, the biggest last launch of the year.
Remember that this game, Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, were the 2 games nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
That year.
Right.
And so it was like one of those like really crazy things where you had 2 huge like AAA blockbuster game launches happening in the same year, sort of bookending it. One was obviously Breath of the Wild in March, and then one was Odyssey in October.
Yeah. Something you may not know is Nintendo has, I think, a relatively late start in planning its marketing campaigns.
Yes.
So the game was out at the end of October, but it was really the summer when we started to get going on that and think about what we were going to do. I was assigned the PR lead, and you were the sub lead, working with me on that. And this was going to be a big launch. Everybody's like, come up with your best ideas. We need your biggest ideas. We were struggling for a long time.
Yeah.
We had kind of a theme of like, let's reinforce the travel theme.
Yeah,
but
the journey.
We were not nailing it.
We definitely weren't nailing it. And I think it's because we were a little bit tired, honestly, from earlier that year working on a hardware launch and Breath of the Wild. So we were sort of like at the end of our creative energy for this particular game. And it was kind of a struggle. Like we had lots of different meetings with different teams. This was going to be one of those launches where it was not just like one team at Nintendo sort of leading it. It was going to be like a big effort across.
We want you all to work together to have this big idea. I remember we were talking to our partnerships team of like, should we get an airline on board?
Right.
You know, do some sort of, because that's travel.
Our
this game's about
events
travel.
Team, of course, was really involved. Like what kind of experience can we build that kind of drives home this like uniqueness of this Odyssey concept? That's really, you know, the sort of the theme of the game. But eventually, after sort of nixing a whole bunch of ideas. We had like a long list that we were like, no, that doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. I remember we were at San Diego Comic-Con and we sort of had like a seedling of an idea where we would sort of do some sort of like cross-country trip with the Mario costume character. And we also had, randomly, a Nintendo Airstream trailer.
Yes.
I don't know why we had it for like, before we used to do press tours with the Airstream trailer, which was weird. Another time we'll tell you that story. But we randomly had this like actual vehicle. Right. Like just Nintendo owned it. Nintendo of America owned it. It was like parked somewhere. And we were like, what if we just put Mario on a road trip, you know, across the U.S., and we would make him go to some of the landmarks that would show up in these different like kingdoms in Super Mario Odyssey. Like we'll find a place that looked like the Wooded Kingdom.
Or the desert.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll find a place that looked like the desert. We'll find a place that that, you know, embodied the spirit of this area in the game. And we would end up, you know, the days leading up to the launch in New York City or New Donk City. Right. As sort of the final culminating stop. Yes.
And then more amazing things would happen there.
Exactly. As like a big celebration. Like he made it to his destination. And we're launching the game, you know, that day or whatever.
Now this was putting some strain on our friendship at that specific time as we were planning this, because I remember I had two things going on. I had a big vacation planned for the end of that summer. And I was also at that time starting to build out the original content plan, which became a big part of my future job. Right. So I was pulled in a lot of different directions, and I had this big vacation, which sort of overlapped with all this stuff is due. It's going to be make or break.
You have to do it then, or else it's not going to happen.
So we agreed. It's like, okay, you will take that part of it over, and I will just do, you know, the other stuff for that campaign. Right. And I remember, like, I think I called you, like, the night before I went on this vacation. We were just, like, going through stuff. Yeah.
And I had, like, an all-time, like, I think I was about to cry.
I was like, are you going to be okay?
No, I was in person. I was, like, sitting in
I don't know.
I was sitting in your office, and I think I had, like, my heart was just, like, gripped with, like, stress and fear. Like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I was really, really panicked.
Because we've done a lot of big stuff before, but this was definitely very ambitious, very high pressure.
And there was a lot of, like, not only was it high pressure just from, like, the, you know, irony on the details of getting something like this to actually happen, but also there was so much pressure from, like, all of our bosses. Remember that? I think I remember, like, there was just like every day someone was like, what's the latest on this? Like, what are you doing? Like, is it gonna work? Like every single day. There was like one or two people that were notorious for doing this.
That's a good like life tip is like,
don't do that.
If somebody is already feeling the pressure to get their job done, don't just add more by not contributing nothing.
Exactly. You know? And it was like every meeting I had to like give some update in front of like a huge group of people about what the latest thing is. And also because it was so many departments were involved, it was a lot of like just organization. Right. It was like, I need to make sure that the events team was like on track doing this and this, whatever is happening.
The like internal communication was like never ending.
It was
with
like
all the updates.
And like every day there was like a line of people out the door of my office. Like, I have a question about like XYZ, and my head was like swimming. Right. And then you left for like 3 weeks or something. Or it was like, it felt like forever because I was just like, I'm alone now trying to like figure this out, and it's not great. But anyways, it ended up being fine eventually.
And I, you know, even when I had come back, like there were some other battles on this campaign too. Like our counterpart in Japan for this one, there was a new person who was very inexperienced in that role.
That's true. I remember that.
The dev team had a lot of very specific ideas about the embargoes. But it was always laid out in a very vague way. So this person and I would have a lot of like arguments over like, I don't think this is worded clearly. What do you mean?
Right,
or we would show the game and they'd be like, oh my gosh, you showed the wrong thing. You just broke the embargo.
You just broke the embargo.
Like, no, I didn't. Let me... And
like, this is how I interpret this line of text.
This was like a never-ending it shows the importance of that role, having a really good person in that role.
Yeah.
Because I wasted so much time going back and
hours
forth.
and hours in the middle of the night.
The longest emails to Japan.
Ever.
Telling them
that they're wrong. Mark. You broke the embargo. But like in the most polite way possible. Right. It's always like, oh my gosh, we need to get the point across, but not like insult people.
Right. So let's talk. So you had this cross-country trip. And talk about like the culmination at the end, because that is even bigger than this big, in a lot of ways, the whole cross-country part.
So the idea was we give Mario and the trailer, which we had wrapped in beautiful Odyssey graphics, 2 weeks to kind of make it across the country. There was a lot of like very kind of new things that we were doing too, because again, this was when, we were really trying to like build up this original content stuff. We were really trying to have, more like, stuff for social media versus it being like stuff just for like regular media.
Right.
So there was like this expectation that as Mario was going across the country that we would do these huge like social media updates. We would be capturing all sorts of
You hired like a really
content.
like high profile photographer.
I hired a high profile travel photographer who I actually still follow his channels, and he's incredible.
Yeah.
Ever-changing horizon, if you want to follow him. Evan, who was like he was the best, and his photographs and the stuff that he does for travel is like incredible. So we hired him to take photographs as Mario. He like went in the Airstream trailer. Basically.
Who were the poor souls in the trailer? We
have
to talk
Evan,
about that.
The photographer, and then the film crew,
Yes.
which sometimes they also filmed Nintendo Minute
Occasionally,
videos.
yes.
Yeah,
They were the ones that you berated when we did the
That's
shopping spree.
They didn't mess this one up.
You pulled another favor somehow.
They were more than happy.
They seemed to love it.
They loved it. And they had, we also had the events team, obviously, that were kind of coordinating the drivers for the different parts of the journey, like all of the events side of it. And then, again, the idea was that Mario would get to New York City, and we would do this huge event in Rockefeller Plaza, which we just showed in our vlog.
Yes.
In front of the New York store, where people could then, of course, buy the game. Reggie was going to be there to MC the whole event.
Right.
So big, again, when the president goes to the launch event, it's like a big deal.
Right.
Like, we were going to have like, all of this cool, we get the trailer parked out there. There was also going to be this like huge like dance number.
This whole dancing routine, yes.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be like to the Jump Up Superstar song, which is like the first time we've had this like actual song that was like vocals and everything in a video game, and we really wanted this moment where it felt like a huge celebration. So we basically worked with like professional dancers in New York City, plus Jordan Fisher, who was on Dancing with the Stars
and he was in Until Dawn also.
And also Until Dawn, weirdly.
The connections.
Yeah, the connections are here. Who was a huge Mario fan and like literally the sweetest ever. He was going to be like sort of the lead dancer. And I found myself like in the days leading up to the event in like dance studio rehearsals.
I remember we went to that in New York.
Yeah.
We went to this crazy like, in some skyscraper, there was just like this dance studio.
It was a dance studio.
And there were like 50 dancers doing this crazy...
we coordinated all their costumes.
Parkour jumps.
Yes.
Like, whoa.
Yes. And we were doing like crazy stuff that I never thought I would do. Like me and the events person were like labeling costumes.
Yeah.
To make sure they had the right costumes for each dancer. We were like making sure that the dance moves like worked with the game. We wanted them to do like the little Mario shuffle.
Well, I remember that was like an interesting back and forth with the team in Japan. Of
Yeah.
Like, how do you
translate
review choreography?
Yeah. No, we had to like storyboard all the choreography.
Yeah.
Give them like all of the videos, like of the rehearsals. We auditioned dancers. It was insane. Like this is the stuff that we were like, what? I am not equipped to do this. I am not a professional like casting person, you know. But somehow you're involved in all of these random stuff when you want to pull off something like this. I think I shed a tear when it had finally happened. It was just such a relief that it was like over and it didn't go horribly wrong. There's a lot to track, tracking not only the journey across the U.S., like so many crazy things could have happened, I remember in the very start of the journey, we actually started in the Bay Area. We took Mario to the Redwood Forest.
You went on that stop, right?
I was Mario on that stop. So we'll show all the videos here, but when Mario was me, because the person that was supposed to be in the costume didn't make it.
What do you mean they didn't make it?
They just didn't show up.
You got ghosted?
They got like I think they're like flight delay or something travel. But I remember like I sent an email to like everybody in our team. I was like, off to the Wooded Kingdom. Like I literally had to go into the woods,
right?
And I was like,
Put
I
on
don't
this
know,
Mario costume.
I don't know if I'm gonna have like signal out there.
Yeah.
So if anyone needs to reach me, like too bad, kind of thing. Like I'll be gone for a few hours. So if anyone needs anything, because again, it was like every minute of the day was questions from like a million people about this. Like I'm not available. But yeah, I ended up like putting on the Mario costume for that, and you have to be under 5'2" to be in the costume. So.
Great news for me.
You can't be in the
Perfect
costume,
news for me.
Unfortunately. You can't be Mario. But yeah, I think, again, this is probably the best event that I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
And I think I have not seen anything really top this one.
No.
It was amazing. It really, truly, there were so many like unique little elements for this that could have just gone so very, very wrong.
Yeah.
And somehow it all worked out. And the developers came out on their own.
That was amazing. Yeah. Mr. Motokura, who said, I just want to see this. I
just want to see it.
You know, you don't need to worry about me. I'll come out on my own dime.
Yeah.
And we ran into him in the crowd. He was wearing one of those like fake like mustache. He had like, like a costume
like,
almost.
Incognito.
I was like, oh.
But he looked so happy.
He loved it.
And it made me happy because I was like, oh, that's great that he could see this in person and just like understand like what it means to have a big launch like this and what a moment, you know, for him to just like kind of be swept up in that celebration. So that was pretty cool that he was there.
Reggie was there.
Yeah.
Reggie loved it. Reggie danced.
Reggie danced, which was the most... That's one of my favorite Reggie moments, is the cute little Reggie dance.
Right.
It was so great.
And then you made another great video of just like the dance in... I love that. There's a scene where it goes from like day to night that I really like.
Yeah. Those videos turned out so well.
So yeah, that was just like a real like feel-good sort of event. Like the culmination of these months and months of anguish and struggle on your part.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I was really happy for you though.
And then, again, there was so much pressure to like make this a thing on social media. Like everyone was telling us like, press that viral button, like make this video viral, make it go viral, press the button. Why aren't you pressing the button? Right? Yeah, like literally everyone was telling me like, what are you gonna do to make this go viral? I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna try to make it look great, but
it's not enough.
Why
are you a failure?
Exactly. Okay. Press the button. Why don't you press that big red button that says viral on it? But that video that we did for the journey, that sort of that like event video, I think how many...
That got millions and millions and millions.
It's like 10 million views.
Yeah.
It was like probably our best...
Right.
It is our best event video of all time. Yeah. I think like, even today, like it still sits at the top.
Yeah.
And I remember like watching the views, and like I remember getting the call from the production team that were on the road basically for like weeks filming this, and they were like, this is incredible. Like this is such an incredible feeling to know that like this organic video that we did with only our like in-house resources, 10 million views. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, great event. Top that, Nintendo. Who's gonna do it now?
Well, we saw that Rockefeller Plaza is now covered with picnic tables, so I don't think they're going to be doing much there.
I know.
Soon.
I don't know if it's in their like what. Yeah, I haven't seen like a big.
No, maybe Pokemon.
Yeah, we'll see.
Those Pokemon events can get crazy, as we also know.
We have a lot of stories about that.
This was just such a great achievement for you. Again, I'm going to go into my little Star Wars comparisons here. You know, on the dark side, you always have like there's the person and the protege, and the idea is that once the protege surpasses the leader, they're supposed to take them out.
I'm gonna take you out.
And I was like, this kind of feels like what this is. It's like I have nothing more to show you or teach you. It's like you have surpassed me in a lot of ways.
In event planning.
With this event, right. Yeah. There's another Star Wars line when Yoda says to Luke Skywalker, we are what they grow beyond. And you had grown beyond
well,
me.
you weren't there. And when you came...
I was there. And I was gone for a week.
When you came back, it was hilarious because you were like, so what's going on with this event? I'm like, I don't have time to catch you up, so too bad.
Did it go viral yet?
It was hilarious because I was like, I literally don't have time to
I just
and so you just
get out of your way. Right.
Which is the best thing you could have done.
Yeah. That was all I could do.
Exactly.
And I could keep arguing with the guy in Japan about the embargo. Oh my gosh.
You did do that for me, which I was like, I can't do this. So you need to do this. But
And
Oh
then,
my
yeah,
God.
like, you know, shortly after this game came out in 2018, like, you know, I was leading E3. I'd moved over to the social media team.
Right.
You had started to take steps in that direction
Yeah,
as well.
it
So
took years,
It
but yes.
absolutely felt like the swan song for both of us in those roles where we'd spent, you know, the past 10 years.
Yeah, that year really was like that was
final
sort of
exam.
the final exam.
Right. It was. It totally was.
Passed.
Yeah.
We passed and moved on, and then we like moved on from there, you know, in a really great way. I think that you use all the stuff that you learned from doing these crazy things, you know, in your future now, you know. So it is interesting how that happens, like where who knew like you would learn all these random skills, you know, doing an event planner as like a PR person.
Right.
Like no one could have, you know, predicted that or whatever.
Of course.
So yes. Anyways, we'll probably put like all the videos, and I'm sure you guys have seen all the videos, honestly.
Have they?
Probably 10 million people have seen the video. But yeah, we'll put it all here. It's great. It's great to look back.
So that's one big anniversary next month. I'm gonna put you on the spot. There's another big milestone anniversary for Nintendo that we were involved in. Do you know what it is?
Next
November.
month, November?
Yes.
Pokemon something? Okay.
No. You don't know.
I don't know.
The Wii U turns 10 in November. So get ready.
Oh,
Get excited. Okay?
It turns 10,
Yeah.
huh?
It's officially retro.
I was
According to
gonna say,
Jeremy Parrish and
Jeremy
Retro
Parrish,
Notes. Officially retro.
It's officially retro.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I feel old. That's pretty,
So
that's crazy.
Maybe we're going to have to dust out the Wii U, dust off some Nintendo Land. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
We have a question about Nintendo Land later.
Oh, boy.
But we will not jump too
All
far.
right.
It is time for our Never a Minute segment.
Very special.
Capping off SHOCK-tober, our full month of spoopy/spooky Never a Minute segments. Our scary character bracket.
Yes.
How
exciting that we were able to do this bracket with Wooden Bob.
Right. Again, we recorded this while we were in New York. If you're watching on video, you will see it from the Nintendo studio.
Yes, we commandeered their studio.
I have nothing else to say. Roll it. And enjoy.
Well, we are joined by some very
Wow.
special guests.
On location.
On location!
Hi.
Using your space, hanging out.
Thanks for having us in our studio.
We crashed.
For
We just
having
showed up
us.
unannounced.
Yeah, we just showed up. You guys we were just on your podcast.
Yes,
and
thank
that
you
was
for that.
A world of fun. We had such a good
Yes.
time. You guys are gracious enough to be on our podcast now. We are in our Halloween, October, SHOCK-tober, we call it.
Very spooky.
Very spooky, like month of October Halloween stuff. And today we're going to be doing a really fun, scary video game character bracket. Explain
That's right.
the bracket.
We have 8 characters. We're going to choose the matchups by random. I've got a whole sorts of pieces of paper in my hand. Oh my gosh, I just dropped one.
No! This is where it falls apart.
And then we have 3 criteria that we're going to be rating it against. And again, this is a very scientific method.
Okay.
We will be choosing a winner.
Okay.
And our 3 criteria
terrified of
are
everything, so.
Yeah, me too.
most
too.
like, could this be real? 1 to 5,
I
we're
never
rating
play
it there.
scary games or watch horror movies.
We don't
I am
need
We don't
such a
either.
big baby.
I'm a huge baby. I was forced to play a scary game recently. And it was terrifying.
What was it? Luigi's Mansion?
Until Dawn.
Oh, that's actually scary.
The second is, could I fight this?
Yes.
5
Every
is
time.
5 is
Yeah.
absolutely not.
I have
time
no
I question
problem
all
fighting
these.
things.
One is
like, you're
I
not
could
scary,
kick
I'm
its
gonna
butt.
punch you
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
All ones. Just
Are we
and,
fighting it
wait.
together? Because
No.
No.
Bob is a
individually.
human
Just
shield.
Just you.
No.
Just
you
me,
meet
okay.
this character in like a dark alleyway.
Okay.
Could you fight it?
Ooh, romantic.
And then the last
Can
round
I kiss
is
it?
How kissable is this scary monster?
we did
Once a
debate
fight.
should hotness just out of the blue be one of the options.
Well, throw it on there.
It could be related. Some fear, attraction.
If we have a
I
tie,
don't know.
we'll use hotness as a tiebreaker.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yes.
love that.
Tiebreaker.
I
Okay,
love
Alright.
that.
tiebreaker
I
is
like
like, I
it.
want to kiss you.
All right.
Okay.
So let's seed this here. Or we should say the final round is, could this star in its own horror movie or game?
Yes.
Yes, be the star.
All
All right,
so
number
we're gonna
1.
see this.
The finger creepers from Elden Ring. If you don't know what these are, they're
Oh, no,
basically
yeah.
spiders that
It's a
look like
disembodied
hands.
hand that
Yes.
like runs
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. But it has like a
disgusting.
lot of fingers.
And it looks like zombified.
Just imagine
Yeah.
like a really giant.
and there's like huge
Imagine
ones.
this, like, huge.
And then like little baby ones.
Yes. It's disgusting.
He doesn't like Elden
All
Ring.
right, so that's the first one.
It's, okay, we're not rating them yet.
Second, the eel from Super Mario 64.
That was a little terrifying.
See?
Not more than a
That-
hand.
See?
Not more than
You're
a
not a Mario
disembodied
64
hand.
kid. That terrified me as a kid.
I can't envision.
The eel was terrifying.
The eel was terrifying.
Yes.
So that's our first matchup. Next we have Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, iconic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is iconic.
Your old run-of-the-mill scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
like
is like
actual-
the scary
actual
video
Big,
game
scary.
big guy with the sword. Oh, interesting. The Silent Hill nurse.
Oh, the
Oh,
two
matching up.
Silent
That's
Hill
a good
characters.
pairing right there.
Yeah, okay.
I already know which one I think is scary.
That's a
All right,
fun
there
one.
you go.
Can we put that in a tiebreaker so we can do the hotness scale?
Yes, we need to.
We're on the same wavelength.
Nurse is pretty. Well, okay.
Bob,
anyways.
Bob heard nurse.
Where?
Next up, we have the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw guy.
Ooh,
Okay.
Can we put that in the hotness scale too?
Yeah?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay, good.
He, 'cause
Love a
he's-
good burlap
He
sack
knows how to
over
use a
the head.
chainsaw. He can take care of me.
Chop the wood.
Yeah.
Chores, you know.
Light a fire.
We have the Emmy from Metroid Dread.
Okay. That is also
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
emotionlessness.
Yes.
And we
And
have
it's just you're running away the whole
Yeah,
time.
and that.
two more. The Re-Dead from Zelda. The ones that scream.
Oh.
Where you're
Yeah.
stopped in your tracks.
As a kid, I hated
Those
those.
are scary.
Exactly.
As
Exactly.
a full-grown adult playing that game, I was very annoyed
Yeah.
with them.
It's
Yeah, they're very
annoying,
annoying.
yeah.
I was just like, oh, come on,
Not
get
again.
it.
Yeah.
And then our last one, maybe a little bit different. We have King Boo. Also iconic.
King was cute.
Scary
Can't argue with
son-in-law.
that.
Yeah.
Scary.
All right.
Take you.
I ain't
Okay,
scared
so
of
we're
King Boo.
rating them in our first category, which is most likely to be real. So the first
Okay.
pairing is Finger Creeper against the eel. The eel could be real though.
There could be like a 200-foot eel
There
somewhere
could be.
deep in the
Yeah.
ocean.
Yeah. This is kind of unfair because I don't think you could have a disembodied hand running around.
It
This
could
is why
maybe
we do this
move-
at random. Some things just
Yeah.
get thrown out.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But
The hand could maybe move for like a second or two. And then it's like,
that's true.
a chicken with his head.
Oh,
cut
you
off.
mean like if
if
you
I-
cut someone's
if I-
hand
Yeah.
off?
That's a good point.
If I started doing this, like if I did this for like 10 minutes and then you just went,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that would be pretty scary, wouldn't it?
that would be pretty
That would be
scary.
pretty scary.
And there would be a good chance it would go.
Yeah.
Oh,
You did that really well right now.
we gotta zoom in on that later. Okay, so what do we think?
Let's go around the room.
Could this be real?
Yes.
Yeah, could
The,
this be
the eel is more likely to be real.
It has
I
to
think
be.
so.
1 to 5 though. Please.
5 being most likely
Because
to be
it's
real?
so big, I'm gonna say 3.
I'm gonna say 4.
5.
Whoa.
Eel.
I'm gonna say 5 too because the ocean is huge and we
Yes.
have not
Mysterious.
we have not got down there enough
Yeah,
to see
it is deep and
it's possible.
and big.
Have
and
you seen
scary.
a giant squid?
Yes, exactly.
Why can't there be
It
a giant
exists.
eel?
That's
You're
so
right.
true.
You're
I
right.
think 5.
So what's the number for that?
I don't know, a lot.
What? 10?
14,
14,
and
3.
17.
17.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta do fast math here.
Finger Creeper. Could it be real? With your demonstration.
It could be real for a
What would you
second.
say?
Yeah.
2. I'm gonna say 2.
2.
2.
Okay, fine.
Wow.
I don't know what that is, but 8.
8. You don't know what that is?
Can't do that, guys.
I was
Oh,
just
no.
as slow.
Just stunned.
Okay.
Okay,
mom-
eel.
and your
The
mom
eel
wanted you
moves
to
on.
do
The eel. This
This is why engineer was ruled out, right?
Cut out all the math.
We can't do math. All right, Pyramid Head versus Silent Hill Nurse. Could they be real?
Well, I think theoretically they're both just like people, right?
Yeah.
They're not zombies or anything.
What's
either.
under Pyramid Head's pyramid?
Have we ever seen?
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
there any head under there?
That's the thing.
Right? The nurse can definitely be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I
It's
think
just a
I
crazy
Well,
nurse.
she's just like bandaged up.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
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 They're
like
just
a-
creepy people
And can
in
see
outfits.
even though she's got bandages on
could
her
be,
eyes.
yeah.
Which is
But aren't
the
they also
weird part.
reflections of your psychological
like
state? They're like manifestations
of your breakdown.
of your psychological
okay.
state.
Okay.
I think I'm at 5 for both.
The only thing that
That's
trips me up is that they can see even though their eyes are covered.
Oh, that
Can
makes
they
it less
see it,
real.
or they just kind of just like
You can have like a.
I mean,
like
are
a
they going like this?
Like a
Are they-
daredevil.
they might be
like a
listening
Sixth
and
Sense,
swinging.
Sixth
kind of
Sense.
thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing that's like maybe that
Is not
doesn't
so
make
real.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say like 4. They could
For
be
both?
pretending really
But
good.
they can't be. Okay, well, you want to say 4 for both?
They're kind of the same.
Yeah, they're very
Yeah.
samey. That's my
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
I
If
see.
I
I
believe
see.
in one as much as the other.
I guess we're just gonna have to do the hotness scale.
We're gonna have to do the hot. What do you say for both? You say the same number for both as well?
Yeah, I will say the same.
They're
You're
kind
gonna
of the
say,
same
what, 4?
character.
Sure.
They're also just as hot as each other.
I think it's
The
also
pyramid head
abs.
is
The abs
ripped.
are-
Okay,
Pyramid
so
Head.
there's abs. There's an ab shelf. Okay, so then we do have a tiebreaker, which is who's hotter.
The-
They're both scantily clad. That's the problem.
This is a revealing
I
question.
thought I
guys.
had an answer, and then I was like, well, hold on a second.
Pyramid Head's kind of ripped.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's
And
kinda
do I
like-
want to say nurse just because it's a nurse? Her head does look kind
She
of.
does have.
It's all like gory and bloody.
It's like
and-
out.
You could.
It's like all out
Maybe
there.
you take
all out
off the pyramid head and it like looks like Kit, and it's like, oh, okay, hello.
What if it's like
Oh,
George
hell
Clooney
yeah.
underneath?
Hell yeah! But what if you unwrap those bandages and it's like all like mangled and like
Yeah.
bloody?
That's true.
True. Good point.
You know.
The excitement of the unknown.
Chris Pratt.
Pyramid. It's Koopa. So I'm gonna say Pyramid Head is hotter.
All right.
Okay.
I'm with that.
I agree.
I can get on board with that.
Okay, Pyramid
Yeah.
Head moves on.
Hell
All
yeah.
right.
See you later,
Hell
nerds.
yeah.
Again, the most scientific of methods.
So scientific.
Okay.
He could pyramid
Resident
my
Evil
head.
Chainsaw Guy versus Emmy in the category of most likely to be real.
Oh.
What was that?
Chainsaw Guy.
I
It's
mean,
just a chainsaw guy.
In the future, Emmy, like a Terminator type.
oh,
Yeah.
like
he,
an
I mean,
AI.
he does
Yeah.
kind of look like the Boston Dynamics robots.
Right.
a
It
little
does.
bit. Yeah.
You're right. The one that dances.
Yeah.
But I mean, there could be a guy with a chainsaw on the street
There-
right now.
yeah.
So.
The
Yeah.
chainsaw
Yeah.
guy
We are
does,
in New
like,
York.
literally.
Check my citizen
He
alert.
goes, there's a lot of crazy people here. Why? Yeah, the chainsaw guy is just a guy with a
Yeah.
chainsaw, so that's like 5.
That's a 5 for
It's a
me.
5.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the Emmy is probably like a 4.
Yeah, I would say so.
I would also say that the chainsaw guy is literally the pyramid and the nurse situation again too. Because
Except you can see his eyes. His eyes are cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just in a burlaps. It's just a crazy
Shouting
guy with a
in
chainsaw.
Spanish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to go into Resident Evil 4, he's got some weird parasite that makes him crazy.
Right.
So that part
Right.
is a little weird.
Yeah.
But if we're going for a physical,
But I mean,
it's just a crazy guy
was
with a
guy with a
real.
chainsaw.
He was like a normal guy at one
Yeah.
point that got the parasite. So he's
Right.
a real person.
Right,
So.
right.
So chainsaw
I think it's a
guy.
moot
Okay.
point. Emmy
a
just
mo-
got smoked.
Oh, that's
Goodbye.
too bad. That's too bad. Okay, last pairing: Re-Dead versus King Boo.
Ooh.
I mean,
We're going
the
by
paranormal
no, this is most likely to be real.
could be real.
Real, that's right.
The
We've done it
paranormal
only
is
4
mysterious.
times
But a
already.
giant ghost with a crown on its head? It's pretty not.
There's a hierarchy among ghosts, I'm sure. Right?
Well, let's get one thing out of the way. Ghosts are real.
Yeah.
Well, ghosts are definitely
So
real,
King Boo being real is
Yeah.
possible.
but in that form where he's a
I don't know about
giant
the form.
round thing with a
I
crown
don't know
on
about
his
the
head?
form. I saw Ghostbusters. I didn't see King Boo. Okay,
And that was a documentary.
that was a documentary.
That's
Also
Definitive
takes place in New
documentary.
York.
Yes.
See, it all makes
I
sense
was there.
scientific. You were there.
And then the
Re-Dead
Re-Dead is literally a zombie.
is a
which-
zombie,
Yeah.
which could be real.
That could be, if we're
Or just
to
a really
believe
skinny, ugly guy.
Yeah.
that screams in your
that
face.
really likes
Yeah.
cuddles
Yeah.
and screaming. Yeah,
My cousin.
yeah.
We all know that guy.
I would say, yeah.
The
Re-Dead
Re-Dead is more real
yeah,
than
definitely.
a King Boo.
It does have a physical presence.
Right.
Wait, you think the Re-Dead is more real
Yeah.
than the actual ghost?
A ghost with a crown on its head? That's a giant thing? No.
Like a beach ball?
Yeah, it was
I'm
like
on the side of King Boo.
You're the only
Then
one.
I am too for drama.
Okay, then we have to see who's hotter.
That's really why I did it.
Ugh. Both? I mean, King Boo's pretty cute, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he's hot.
King Boo's kissable.
But here's the thing.
Very kissable.
Here's the thing that no one has thought of. King Boo has a crown, which
Yeah.
means Daddy has money.
He's got status.
But if you turn around to kiss him, would he turn away from you? Or would he cover his
He'd be really shy all the
But
time. in front of you.
sometimes I like it when they're hard to get.
Just don't cover your mouth, King Boo. Yeah.
Still cover your mouth, just your eyes. Mouth is
your
still
eyes.
there. Okay. So does King Boo move on then? We all
That's
agree
what
that
That's what I'm.
Daddy
voting.
has money and
That's
King
what I'm-
Boo is cute and kissable.
that's what I'm
All
hearing.
right.
That's what I think. Yeah.
That was a weird turn of events there. Okay. All right, round 2.
So we've moved on.
We've moved
So what
on.
are the 4 that advanced?
Mario 64 Eel versus Pyramid Head.
Good.
Perfect.
It's the dream
The
matchup.
classic matchup.
Yeah.
And then
that
the
we all know
classic
and love.
matchup of Resident Evil Chainsaw Guy versus King Boo.
This is an excellent 4 characters.
And King Boo. And then this category is Can I Fight This? One being you're spreezy to fight, I'm gonna kick your butt.
Okay.
5 being, oh my gosh,
No chance.
I'm running away immediately.
Okay.
Okay. So the eel. Oh
No.
no.
Listen,
You're under the
I was
sea?
Wait.
I was under the impression I was going to be able to fight all of these people. But the
Or
eel,
eels.
the eel, no.
Wait.
Yeah, 5.
What?
Right?
We're in their domain.
Have you seen the movie The Meg?
No.
I don't want to see it either, but it's always on TV after wrestling, so I've seen a little bit of it. They're like in these little ship things with like hands, and they're fighting the shark. Now, do I have a ship thing with hands?
Or could you
No.
get it out of water? somehow.
How are you going to do that? You're in the depths of the ocean.
You tease it, and it
it's
jumps
like
out on
Mario.
land.
It's like your Mario.
So I have to
Mario.
swim down there and punch it.
Yeah.
Like he does. Actually, you know what? Mario doesn't ever defeat it either.
He just runs away.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's a chicken, just
Yeah.
like us. No, he's not fighting. He's running away
Chris
from
Pratt's
it.
Mario would fight it.
He would.
Wouldn't even
And
know what
get
it
eaten.
is.
He would
It's like,
go,
what's
Yeah,
a
get eaten.
eel?
Yeah.
like the dinosaur.
Like it's a raptor, yeah. Well, let's hear some numbers.
All right, I'm going to say 4 for the Mario eel. I can't fight that eel.
I'm a
There's
5. I'm a 5 on the eel.
no- Okay, what are
I
you?
think I'm a 5.
5, 10, 14,
2.
16.
Oh, you're taking it on?
I could. No,
You're
I'm
gonna
probably.
get
I'm
your
probably
robot
at-
boat.
I'm at a 5. If I can't have like any kind of, if I don't even have like a scuba tank.
Do you own a scuba tank?
No.
Well, then no.
But I could
You
buy
don't get one. No
But I
one's
could
giving
buy
you one. You
but I
got no
could
help
buy
from
one.
anybody.
You are underwater.
Just your wits and your bare hands.
Your bare hands.
If I'm
yeah.
just underwater, obviously no, I couldn't take a fish under there.
You couldn't grab it by the fish
Yeah.
head? No? Okay.
All right. That's
All right,
a 19.
here-
Was that 19?
19.
Whew.
I did that math. I was really proud of myself. Okay, Pyramid Head, though.
That I could take.
It's just a
Look
dude.
at, this
That's
is
just
the
a
guy.
guy.
We could just kick him in
Yeah.
the face.
He doesn't. He has like what, melee weapons? This is America.
He can barely see. That thing's going to be
I got
really
a
heavy.
shotgun. I'm fine.
I could
Yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah, he probably like have like bad balance from the pyramid head.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
You could
saying.
like unbalance him pretty easily. So I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 1.
1, 2, 3,
Put him up.
2.
2.
I'll give it a 2
5,
because I'm not good
2,
at fighting,
7.
but it's definitely doable.
All right. Weirdly, the Mario eel has
Yes.
moved on. All right. Now we're looking at who can I fight? The chainsaw, Resident Evil chainsaw guy, or King Boo?
Now, I don't know if I could fight King Boo because he's
yeah.
a ghost.
Yeah. He's. How are you gonna? I guess
not
you
have
could
a
go. Like you could.
Corporeal form.
Well,
Do we have the poltergeist?
how does Luigi fight King Boo? With a flashlight and a vacuum cleaner, and I have both of those things.
That's a good
That's
point.
fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. If Luigi can do it though, he's pretty chicken just like us.
Exactly.
So like, couldn't we just emulate him?
Absolutely. I think I could take King Boo if that's his weakness.
He's
Why
a
are
big.
you
It's a lot
so
of vacuum,
confused?
though.
I have
Well, the same reasoning
Turn
about
them all
Pyramid Head.
You have a Dyson. You'll be fine.
I do. What do I? Wait, how do you know?
Because I saw it in your closet.
Oh, that's not me. I don't live here.
Okay, whatever.
This isn't his house.
I have a Dyson. We're fine. We're good.
There's a refrigerator box over there. That's his house. The same reasoning about Pyramid Head you could apply to the chainsaw guy. Just a guy.
It's just a guy, but
he
he
has
has
a
a chainsaw.
chainsaw.
And a chainsaw
Pyramid Head has a giant
is hard to
sword.
fight off.
He's also very fast, and I have played Resident Evil. He takes a lot of bullets.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not, I feel like
That-
Chainsaw
that's a
Guy's
good
pretty
point.
scary.
Yeah.
He's like waving that thing
And he's
around.
running
new-
at you.
Yelling at
running
you.
at
Yeah.
you.
The new preview for the Resident Evil 4 remake,
looks so
he gets knocked back though. Like really, he
You
goes
can
like
parry
this,
it.
and he's like tiptoeing towards you, like not
don't
getting
want
back.
that.
QTE the chainsaw.
I don't want that. I don't want anybody with a chainsaw that close to me. I don't know. The booze
nobody-
getting
one.
better and better.
Nobody wins in a chainsaw fight.
All right, numbers for the chainsaw.
saying goes.
I'm gonna say 4 for me.
I'm gonna say 3.
3.
This is
7.
chainsaw?
Yeah.
2.
Like you could fight it.
Kid is confident.
Really?
In the
What did I say?
chainsaw fight.
What'd you say? 3, 7,
do a shoulder
9.
roll.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say 2.5.
No.
You can't
Round
do
up. That's a
4.
round up to 3.
3.
I'm
So
gonna
what did I
Whole
say?
numbers.
I'm gonna say 2 to not be outmanned by Kit. The thing
What
is,
was the other number there?
I feel like
4.
I could just shoot it.
6,
Do you have a gun?
10,
3.
13,
Make it 3. Add 1. Make it 3.
14. Okay. And then
It's contentious.
King Boo. Again, I'm with you on this flashlight
Thank you.
vacuum cleaner thing.
Thank you.
1.
1.
Yeah, what type
Easy.
of weird shenanigans can I do to take down King Boo? Because every game he's in, it's a weird, wacky thing you got to do to get rid
Yeah,
of him.
but I mean, it's.
But this isn't like a standard issue. This is a Professor Egad,
Yeah.
one of a kind
I can mod it.
poltergeist.
I can mod
What's,
it.
you can't.
what's the worst thing that happens if he gets you? Just makes you cold for a little bit?
That's
You
a
just
good
go
point.
through him.
Yeah.
Well,
Does he make you
Mario
kiss
does
him? Like, whatever.
die.
Does
He gets trapped in
Yeah.
a painting.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't die.
Yes.
You're trapped in a painting.
You'd be
Is
trapped
King
in
Boo only in Luigi's Mansion?
No,
He's
Oh.
in Regular Mario game. How does Mario fight him?
he doesn't.
Okay.
He just looks away. Like he just run away
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evade him.
oh well
Evade.
then yeah.
But that's like the eel though. Mario just runs away.
Do I have to kill this thing or can I just run away from it?
Well, it's could you fight it? So yes, you do.
I have to fight it.
Or else you'd be trapped in a painting forever, like Dorian Gray.
Flashlight and vacuum cleaner.
I'm gonna still stick with my 1.
I'm at 1.
All right.
1, 2.
I'm at a 4.
Okay, that's
I
weird.
think I'm joining them for. I think it's going to be hard to fight
Six,
this thing.
so 10.
10. Oh,
So the winner,
is the chainsaw guy.
chainsaw guy. Okay.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. All right. The last
that.
category. This is a weird matchup. Mario 64 Eel versus the Resident Evil chainsaw
Oh,
guy.
Mario 64 Eel is taking that guy down 100%.
In the,
the criteria
is could they star in their own horror film? That eel's pretty scary.
It's funny because you already got like Jaws, and then there's Texas Chainsaw
Yeah, I was gonna
Massacre.
say, and I
So there's-
referenced the Meg, which was a
right.
giant shark.
So there already are movies on both of them.
You could definitely do a giant eel. They did a giant snake.
I guess we're also going to have to tie break
Oh, yeah,
this with the
Anaconda.
kissable.
Yeah, who would you rather kiss? Yeah, they both, yeah, exactly. I mean, the Chainsaw Massacre is already a movie, so obviously chainsaw people are
Yeah.
scary.
So
Or
let's
like
get kissy.
Saw.
Yeah.
So let's get kissy. I don't
The
want
eel
to
is
kiss the
cute.
chainsaw
So an
guy.
eel
The eel is pretty cute.
could be good for us.
Sometimes there's different interpretations of the eel. In Mario 64, he's pretty cute.
I mean, if he's not going to try to eat me, I'd kiss it.
We're already on to kissing?
Yeah.
Oh,
How did
Yeah,
we get
wait,
there?
wait.
we
Catch
blow
up
right
there.
there, dude.
We're going to be doing a lot of kissing from here
I've been
on
crunching
out.
numbers, okay? What?
We're getting to the meat
I
of the
think
show
I'd
here.
much rather see the movie about the giant eel than the chainsaw guy.
But who would you rather kiss?
Yeah, we
We're
moved
past
on.
that.
We're past that.
I'd kiss the eel.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think so. I think
Is that the winner?
I think the eel
I
is
think
be the
he'd be
winner.
sweet. I think he'd be
I
cute.
think the eel has won your contest.
Somehow,
I think so.
in our...
Is this the last thing?
This
That
is
was
the
it.
last thing.
That's it?
That's the definitive winner.
That's the answer.
Wow.
After all of these scary characters, we have scientifically proven that the scariest, best video game character of all time is the Mario 64 eel.
And also just so happens to be the most kissable.
And also happens to
And
It's a
also
bit-
the only
Little
one I have
sidebar.
no real frame of reference for what it looks like.
It is
It's a giant eel.
Literally,
giant
huge.
eel.
It's frightening, yeah.
Wow.
I'm on board with these results.
Who would have thought that
This
this
is perfect.
would happen? That we would be here now.
Somebody
But
had to
anyway.
do it. I'm glad we did.
I would love to do it again.
This is important work.
Yeah.
Put this
Yeah.
in the library
Yeah.
of research.
We couldn't have done it without you two.
Yes.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you for involving us in this committee.
Yes. From now on, though, you have to be involved. You've
Sure.
just
Yeah.
signed a lifetime contract.
I feel like I'm a professional now.
All right. What do you guys think? Tell us in the comments below.
They agree.
Of course
They
they agree. They have
definitely
to.
If they don't, I'll fight them.
If they don't,
They're going on the
Or
list.
kiss them.
Or kiss them. You don't know what's coming at you.
What's gonna come at you? Okay.
I mean, how can you not agree that eel is the most kissable of all of these?
we really took a 180 here, somewhere along the way. Well, thank you guys so much
Yes.
for being on our podcast.
Thanks
We
for
had
having
the
us.
best
Thanks for
time,
being
and
on
for
us.
letting us crash your beautiful studio space.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We're back.
we're back.
What did you think?
That was a result that I was not mentally prepared for.
I was.
And that was a discussion I also wasn't mentally prepared for about
The
hotness and the kissing.
The Mario 64 eel always shows up. It's not like traditionally scary, but it's haunted people's dreams for like decades.
For a long time. And I didn't experience the horrifying fear of the eel until recently.
Until your
Until I
advanced,
played it
your
on
advanced
Switch.
age. No.
And I still was terrified.
It was scary.
I can't imagine being a child and
Yeah.
then having to experience that. But that was very fun. And yeah, we had some like real actual scary characters on there. It was fun to learn that Wood is also not a big like horror game person.
Yeah.
I felt like we definitely have a lot of that kind of stuff in common. We're all chicken.
Yeah.
Apparently, which is good. But yeah, it was really fun to go through that.
That's right.
With them. Now they're going to be on the research panel for all character brackets moving forward.
Wow.
That's right.
Incredible. What are we going to do next week when Shock-tober is over? I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll come up with
not
something.
thought of it.
We will come up
You know
with
who
something.
will come up with something?
Who?
Superstars.
Oh, all right.
Put it on them.
The clock's ticking,
The clock
people.
is ticking.
All right, on to what we are playing.
Mm-hmm.
We've been traveling a lot here.
I know.
The playing
I know.
games.
The playing games.
But we've both been continuing on with Mario plus Rabbids.
I am very close to beating the game.
Oh, really?
I am, yes.
What planet are you on?
I'm on second to last one.
4.
Correct.
Okay. What is the theme of that planet?
The theme of it is sort of this like industrial factory situation.
That's different.
You have to do a lot of repair work
Yeah.
on some stuff that will allow you to upgrade your ship. I think that's what's going to carry you to the boss
I see.
planet.
Okay.
And I again, this game has been so good and so much fun that it really surprised me. And all of the planets have been really different. You know, there was like the fall themed one.
That's where I am now.
Yeah, which is great for right now. And then right after that is sort of like a garden planet, which is really beautiful and fun. You meet
So you were on the 5th planet then? If there's a garden...
Oh, you're right.
Is that the last one?
No, there's one more.
Oh, there's like a
This is
secret...
the boss.
There's like a secret last one?
Krysta.
Oh, okay. Well, I wonder if that's a full-on planet or just like a boss fight.
I
guess we'll see.
I think the point is that you have to upgrade your ship
Right. Okay.
to get there.
I see.
Yeah.
Who is in your party right now?
Oof, my party. I've been switching it around a little bit because it's getting kind of hard, even in my easy mode. It's still hard.
Yeah.
So I have Bowser, which is my lead character. I love Bowser.
Bowser's great.
Bowser is so good in this game. All of his different, and if you put the right sparks in, like, you can do a lot in one turn with Bowser and take out so many of the enemies on a map, which is really cool, and you feel so powerful. I love that. The other character that I've really grown to like a lot is Rabid Mario because of the melee damage that he does, and there's a lot of cool things you can do, again, with like how you do his skill tree, where you can use the stomp, you have a lot of like movement, so you can kind of get up close. There's also sparks you can equip to like pull enemies towards you, so you can do like a lot of like AoE damage even though you're doing melee stuff. And then my third character I tend to switch depending on the battle. Either it's Luigi, Peach, or Rabid Peach is who I've been using. Depending on like if the battle's really hard and I just need a healer, like I'll just have Peach do just that, or Rabid Peach do just that. Otherwise, you know, Luigi's great for that long range stuff. Yeah. And Peach is really good for like shielding your team or like boosting your team. So I really like her as well. But it's so fun. It's such a good. I mean, getting through just the main quest is primarily what I'm focused on. I've done like a couple of side missions, but I don't force it. You know, if I'm kind of like just going through it and happen to run into a side mission, I'll do it. But if not, then I'm just kind of staying on the main quest. But it continues to be like so much exploration, just a lot of like different things for you to like discover while you're going through it. The puzzles are also strangely challenging in a good way. Like there's some parts where I was like, what do I do here? Like I actually don't I have to think about this. It's not just like, you know, like a cheap little puzzle. You know?
Right.
They do a good job like making it feel challenging and stuff. So I love it.
I really like all the characters
Amazing.
to the point where I sort of have dilemmas of like, who do I want in this battle? Because I guess the one I don't love so much is Rabid Luigi. I don't care for him too much, but all the others
very often,
I really like, and they're all so different. It's fun to play with them all. I do wish there was another healer character.
Yeah.
Because Rabid Peach is like the only one.
That's right, yeah.
And there are times where that's really nice to have. But this game continues to be excellent, and a big step up from the first game. And I'm glad to hear that, you know, you're this far, and so many people were scared of that difficulty spike midway.
It's hard.
I mean, it's getting harder, but it's not, you know, that crazy spike from the first game that turned everybody off.
I mean, and there's more difficulty adjustments that I could make. If I really wanted to go down even more, I could.
Yeah.
But again, the tuning of that difficulty, it changed everything for me for that game. And I'm just so glad that they did that, because it changed the game like altogether, you know, which is really cool. And just it feels really balanced now, and it feels just like, you know, really done perfectly. I continue to just be super impressed by it.
I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you for specifics, but do you think this is would this be like in your Game of the Year top 10?
Absolutely. Wow. And I never thought I would say that as a...
Yeah, you were a big skeptic.
I was a huge skeptic. Yeah. I liked the first game, but I really didn't love it that much. I didn't beat it. I fell off like kind of, you know, maybe a third of the way through. So I wasn't even that far. You know, you guys know my ongoing dilemma with rabbits in general. This one is not that annoying, honestly. Like it's not like so in your face.
And you can even have a party of all non-rabid characters.
I'm surprised that I have 2 rabid characters in my party, but they're just like
They're
good.
useful.
They're useful.
Right.
Yeah, they're really useful.
Yeah.
They're still silly, there's still parts of it where I'm like, ew, what the hell's happening? some of the NPC characters too, I'm like, what is going on with this character? But it's like there's one of the, it's like a giant bee
Oh,
rabbit. I showed it to you. I was like,
weird.
what is happening right now?
Why?
But exactly, like why?
Yeah.
But it's not, it's come and goes, it's not
Right.
like in your face, like for like hours you're like looking at this weird character.
Right.
But I'm surprised, that it is something that I've stuck with, that I'm just having so much fun with, and yeah, it's really a great great game. Yeah.
If you finish this, are you going to try and squeeze in Bayonetta?
So I was thinking about this, and this might have something to do with our little encounter with all of our Nintendo friends.
Yeah.
I might play Persona 5 instead.
You're going to squeeze that in before God of War? Just a light 200 hours?
I just want to see
Why do you
about.
keep doing this to yourself?
I feel maybe I can multitask them. Here we go.
Oh,
Here
no.
we go. Here we go.
Oh,
Here we
no.
go. Because I do like Bayonetta, but I really want to try this game.
Yeah.
I really want to.
I think we've both wanted to try it for a long time, but it's like, where do I slot in 200 hours?
I might try to do it.
At some point, I mean, you just
This
have
is why
to do
I'm
it.
kind of not blowing through, but I'm trying to finish Rabbids like this,
Right.
like in the next 2 days or so.
Because it's like, we're like less than 2 weeks from God of War? It's like the 10th?
November 9th or 10th.
Yeah, so it's like basically 2 weeks.
I think I can at least play a little bit of Persona 5, and then maybe I can play that game like in bed or something, because it's very like dialogue and relationship heavy.
It's your life.
I also
You do what you want.
I feel like there's like there's some cosmic. There's a lot of signs. Like we were talking to Jeff Keighley last week, and he was like talking so much about the Joker reveal.
Uh-huh.
So then that's been on my mind.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to the New York store, and it was like Persona everything. And then all these people were.
We saw those ads in Times Square.
We saw the ads in Times Square
for that game, which was
Exactly.
very unexpected.
Exactly. I just feel like it's like some sort of cosmic sign that's like, play this game.
All right.
You should play this game. And there's like all these people that are telling me all these things. Like, this game changed my life. Like, this game is.
That's true.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like I need to do it, and now's the time. So.
All right. Can't argue with
Sorry,
that.
Bayonetta. You're gonna have to wait a little bit.
I need to do this in my life for personal reasons.
For
okay.
personal reasons. Yeah. For personal
Okay.
reasons. Hey!
What?
Don't disparage my
I'm not. I want to play
decision-making.
this too, but I'm going to do it in under 2 weeks.
Well, you're not gonna do it because you're.
I'm still trying to watch Xenoblade cutscenes on YouTube. Jeez.
Just give up. Do we just talk about what happens right now?
No. Do not.
I can just write it to you in like 2 sentences.
No.
Okay.
I played a very interesting game on the plane. I asked you if you wanted to play. You said absolutely not.
I did.
So thanks for nothing.
You didn't want to play with
It's
me
called
at all.
Trash Sailors. This
I
is
love this.
an eShop game that we heard about sort of out of the blue. We got offered
Yeah.
codes. And I looked
awesome.
and I was like, what is this? This name is strange.
Yeah.
So I looked it up.
The art style is very.
The art
interesting.
style was extremely eye-catching, which is why I said, yes, please send the codes. But it's an interesting game. So you are these people who are on this kind of raft made of trash in the world where the oceans are overrun with garbage.
Right.
And it's kind of like an overcooked multitasking situation.
Correct.
Where you have multiple characters on the boat and one person needs to steer, one person is like fishing out the garbage, but you can put it into it's like a furnace or something. You put the trash in there and it spits out pieces for you to either rebuild
Up
your
your
ship
boat,
or
upgrade your boat.
be
Yeah.
fuel for your boat.
Right.
And it'll also show you like if you get these pieces, you'll get like a bonus.
Right.
And just all around you, there's trash everywhere.
So you just need to like be quick about it, like get
Right.
as much of it into
Right.
the furnace as you can.
Right. Since you told me to buzz off, I was playing it by myself, which was
I didn't.
it was challenging to do it with one person, but I could see this being a lot of fun
Yeah.
with 2 people. And again, that art style, like I cannot understate how good that
How
art style
cool
is.
it looks and
What do you call that? You're more
almost
knowledgeable
like-
at this than I am.
It's like almost like another like sort of storybook kind of look.
Yeah.
Where it's like it has like sort of these 2D layers that make it look 3D, but also very like.
But it's like
picture-y.
pieces are like it's like got a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, it's almost like a diorama.
There we go. Yes.
Yes. And it has like kind of, again, sort of an illustrated, like hand-drawn kind of look to it, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, if you're not watching the video version of this podcast, I'd say look it up, because it's one of the most interesting art styles I've seen probably all year.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, the game is fun. I just want to play it with somebody else, I guess. I guess it won't be you.
It's going to be me.
Okay, Justin Timberlake.
It's going to be May.
You can't say that. It's November. It's coming on November. You can't say it's going to be May. That's illegal. There's one other game that I have on the list that I have not... I'm actually not playing this game.
I really wanted to ask you about this.
Why?
Because I figured you would want to play this game. It's like
I do.
Pokemon. It's a Marvel Snap, which is basically like a card game, right? On mobile.
Yeah.
I've heard a million people talking about this.
Well, so have I, which is why I put it on the list. I downloaded it this morning.
Oh, you did?
It's a phone game.
I want to play it. It looks fun.
It's made by some people who worked on Hearthstone.
Yes, I love that game.
So, it's like a collectible card game.
Yes.
Based on the Marvel universe, but it looks like it has... I watched some videos on it. It seems like it's a bit more different than just like head-to-head battles.
Right.
It's kind of like objectives
Yeah.
within a head-to-head format. I don't play a lot of games on my phone.
I know.
So
me neither.
It takes a lot for me to get over that hump. But this looks cool, and so many people who
are like obsessed with
we
it.
respect a lot are like, this is
like
great.
The best game. Yeah.
So I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to try it out too.
You are too?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because I literally was just thinking about, I was like going to ask you if you've tried this game yet. Like,
oh, wow.
Last night when I was looking at all the people saying how great it was.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, I had to delete this off my phone because it was too addictive.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
Uh-oh. The gems?
I know, right? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Get your gems.
But yes, I want to try it out too. I'm excited about it.
Wow, that's fun. Maybe next week we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of all we've been playing. I think we've been pretty focused on Mario and Rabbids with a
Great
few
time
little
to catch up
odds
on
and
playing.
ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of fun little plain sort of mobile-y kind of games, which is nice.
Right.
All right.
We got another sponsor.
Woohoo.
Thank you, Slick Deals.
We love Slick Deals. As you guys know, they've been a longtime sponsor of this
Have
channel.
loved, do love, continue to love.
Continue to love. And if you guys don't know what Slick Deals is, it is a really cool shopping destination where it finds and sources coupons for you. It's a browser extension. It's a mobile app.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a deal and you're looking to buy something, you need to get this.
The holidays are just around the corner.
It's true.
And it never hurts to get some deals.
It's true.
Yeah.
And there's a huge community of people that are in the Slick Deals community that are searching for these deals for you. So it's actually real people.
Right.
And you get, I like the emails that you get. It's like these are the hottest deals of the week. They have a lot of tech products too, which we've used in the past.
Right.
And yeah, it's really like it runs in the background, so again, it doesn't like disturb you or anything like that.
I am one of these people who used to Google random coupon codes and they never work, but never again.
Right.
Thank you, Slick Deals, for that. Yes.
Exactly. We did this last time, but we're going to do a fun little giveaway.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm learning now about Slick Deals is not only does it have deals on sort of like physical products, but also gift cards.
Right.
Last time we gave away an eShop card. This time we're giving away a Game Pass card.
Wow.
So to enter for your chance to win, make sure you are subscribed to the Kit and Krysta YouTube channel. If you're watching video version of this podcast, that is the channel you're on right now. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment and tell us what Game Pass game you would play if you win the giveaway. And we'll pick somebody at random and send you your Game Pass card.
Great.
So wonderful.
That's
Thank you,
wonderful.
Slick Deals.
Thank you, Slick Deals.
Yeah.
All right, on to the news. And believe it or not, all the news is about scary games.
Well, spoopy time. Spoopy time.
These ain't spoopy. These are scary.
These
These are scary, okay?
These are actually
Resident
like real
Evil,
scary.
Silent Hill, there's nothing spoopy about that. So, yeah, there were two kind of big, like, Nintendo Direct-y events. Mm-hmm. So let's just go through kind of what's in each of these. So there was a big Silent Hill showcase that had a lot of stuff in it.
Oh my gosh, Silent
These
Hill.
both had a ton of stuff, but let's just run through what there was. So there was a Silent Hill 2 remake.
Right.
Being developed by Bloober Team. This was rumored for a while before. They were pretty right on with that. There's this other game, Silent Hill Townfall, which is done in partnership with Annapurna. So that's got more of sort of an indie-ish vibe to that.
Yeah. I love that studio, so.
Yeah.
Excited
Silent
to see
Hill
that.
F, which is a spin-off set in this really interesting setting of 1960s Japan.
Okay.
That was interesting. And then they announced that they are going to be doing a third Silent Hill movie, Return to Silent Hill, directed by Christoph Gans, who did the first movie.
Right.
Believe it or not, I worked on the premiere of the first Silent Hill movie. Did you know
did?
that? Yes.
Did you go see
I went Hollywood. Well, turns out with those premieres, unless you're actually like one of the invited guests, you just end up waiting outside. Oh. So I was like helping like do these like red carpet interviews for like the cast, and then they would go in and it was like, all right, now you wait for 2 hours until they come out.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you didn't see the movie?
Go get a sandwich or something.
You didn't see the
Well,
movie?
I saw it later. I saw it
Were you
eventually.
scared?
That's a pretty scary movie.
I don't want to
Yeah.
say it. It's too scary.
That's a good movie. The first Silent Hill movie is like legit good.
I'm so scared.
The second one they did, again, this director, he was really on it. The one after that I don't think was very good. I never saw that one.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then that's good that he's back for this third movie.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a big dump of info
Yeah.
from Konami, who's been really like it's
Quiet
like,
about Silent Hill?
Are you making games? What are you
Right,
doing?
exactly.
This is not pachinko. So I thought it was interesting that they came out and just had like, we've got like five
different things
big
happening. Yeah.
announcements that we're going to tell you about all at once. Mm-hmm. It kind of like, is this too much news?
It's always like that nowadays, though, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, every publisher does this now.
What was the one we were talking about not far off ago where it was like, this is too much?
Assassin's Creed.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it was like, again, like 6 different things,
right.
all like set in different time periods. I mean, I'm glad this is coming because I want to play, maybe not Silent. We'll see about Silent Hill. Assassin's Creed, I was very happy about because I was like, I want to play these games.
I mean, it's a good franchise just to have around.
Oh, for sure.
It was a bummer when, I mean, any Konami franchise, it was a bummer for, but this was, in particular, was so relevant and so beloved.
And there's a huge fan base around Silent Hill. Honestly, like, maybe now I would want to play this, but with, like, a lot of people in Brotherhood.
Stream it? That's your moral support.
More people?
More people?
More people in the room with me.
Oh, boy. I'm a very casual Silent Hill fan, so I was trying to decipher, like, were people happy with this news?
People seemed happy.
Some people seemed upset. I think it's specifically around the Silent Hill 2 remake. This choice of the dev team was not everybody's cup of tea.
I see. Okay.
And I think they were a little bit worried,
yeah.
like, are they going to pay off, the storyline? There seemed to be a lot of concerns around that. Again, I'm not super familiar with that team or their work, so I'm just sort of passing along what I saw with that.
Right.
I saw some people also saying, like, it would be nice if there was just, this is what we were saying, could we just play the original Silent Hill 2 without having to jump through hoops?
That's true. Yeah, it's impossible to play these games nowadays.
Yeah, getting some, like, dig up a PS2 or...
Yeah.
I guess the PC version of that game is just a complete mess.
It's a mess, yeah.
Like, that would have been a nice counterpoint to this of, like, and we're also going to release the original...
They should just do, like, a trilogy, whatever, or something like that.
Yeah.
And just release these games on a modern system.
I agree.
Why not?
Yeah.
It seems very low lift.
Right, because again, if this does not pay off what, diehard fans want from Silent Hill 2...
At least you have that.
They might feel even worse because it's like, okay, well, they redid this game I love, but I don't love the remake,
and I can't play the original.
And I still have no way to go and do that.
Exactly.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll do it when we get closer to the.
Right,
I mean, all of this seemed quite
like far off.
Far off.
Yeah, I am kind of interested in this Annapurna partnership one.
Yeah.
Because I really love that studio. They made Stray.
Yeah.
And there's a vibe to the studio for sure.
That trailer was. I mean, it was like a zoom in on a Walkman.
It was literally like 10 seconds.
Like, I have no idea what this is.
Exactly. So, but they have a very like strong creative voice, I feel, and it could be an interesting like new take on Silent Hill. Maybe it's like a little bit less scary.
Yeah, right? Okay. Come on.
Would there be a cute
what
cat
a ridiculous thing to say.
Okay.
Again, Konami's been doing basically nothing. It's interesting that this was the series they decided to go big on.
Yeah.
Are they going to do this with other series? Are they trying to make some comeback? I don't know. I would love some Castlevania to come back. I mean, again, they do have Metal Gear. They tried to make a Metal Gear game after Kojima left. It was a disaster.
It was terrible.
I just wonder what this signals, beyond Silent Hill for them.
As
are they back?
Konami overall.
Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Capcom, though.
Then there was the Resident Evil showcase,
Yeah.
which had not as much stuff, I'd say, but definitely still
Some stuff.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
So kind of working from small to big here. There's this new DLC for Resident Evil Village. Neither of us have played that, by the way.
And I'm not going to.
Kind of focusing on a new character. I thought I've been interested in this third-person mode. You know, when we did that list of our scariest games, all of my scary games were first person.
Yeah.
So I really wonder, like, there's got to be something to that of like
Of course.
the perspective
like,
makes
the
it scarier.
Perspective of it being you're
Right.
seeing it through your own eyes. That's why I think RE4 is not as bad.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But I'm probably not going to play Village at this point, but I do wonder, you know, does that change the tension, the feel, the
Yeah.
scariness? I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
They also announced Resident Evil Reverse, which is this kind of janky-looking online shooter.
Not really
And
interested
they
in
said
that, yeah.
Village players get some early access to this. They have tried so many times to do like a multiplayer
To make this into a
Resident
thing,
Evil
yeah.
thing, and it's just never worked.
Right.
I do remember I had this game on PS2. I think it was Resident Evil Outbreak was what it was called. That was actually a really interesting game. You had to have the network adapter and you had to have the hard drive. So I was like two of the 3 people in the world who had those things. But it was cooperative. And you had like, there were like a handful of different characters who could all do different things, have different roles.
See, that's probably pretty fun.
It was a great concept, but playing with randos online, it was just
It was
it was always just people running around doing not what they should
But
be
if you
doing.
could do it with your friends and you could communicate in real time about like what everyone's supposed to be doing, that
Right.
could be really cool.
That seemed like a fun idea. I would prefer that they go back to something like that than just these kind of generic
Online,
action-y shooters.
Right.
So I don't have high hopes for that.
Yeah.
And then the big thing here was this new trailer, and there was a lot of new gameplay that came out for the Resident Evil 4
good.
remake. This game looks incredible.
It looks really good. Yeah. And this one
Have you-
doesn't seem as scary.
Have you played this game?
I have.
When did you see? You played it on GameCube, or
GameCube.
or Wii?
No, I
People
played
love
on
that Wii version.
I think I played on GameCube.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I played the Switch version of RE4 like a couple. And I was a little bummed that the game didn't hold up as well
Yeah.
as I thought it would.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that this
That there's
remake
a
is
real
coming.
remake, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. You know, the gameplay looks great. Like they were showing that first kind of like set piece when you go into the village. That's like such a great
It's like an iconic
like
moment.
playground of
Right.
like action and scariness. And there's the chainsaw guy.
Right, a chainsaw
Again,
guy.
the chainsaw guy's back. This is going to be super great. Yeah, for
And
some
Leon.
reason, Leon, you think
Leon is
Leon's
hot.
Great.
Leon's a hottie.
This game just really nails the scariness with action.
I think that's why it's not as bad for me.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's definitely jump scares and scary enemies,
You feel powerful.
but you feel like you could take them. Exactly.
right.
Yeah, you can feel.
Right.
You feel like you can like win this fight.
And of course, they kind of overdid it with the action in RE5 and 6,
Right.
which is why
This
they
is a
had
good balance.
to really correct it in RE7. But this was a perfect balance.
Yeah.
This is really.
See, RE7 they overcorrected and they made it too
Well,
scary.
That's what you say.
That's what I say.
That's what you say.
That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm just super pumped for this. This game is out in March, so
March.
it's not super long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really played any of these remakes. I love what they're doing with these, though.
Yeah.
I think this is a really smart thing to do, and people seem to like them. And who knows, this might be the best one. I'm going to play it.
Yeah, we should definitely play this one.
Yeah. And then finally, this was sort of an interesting thing. This Alan Wake Remastered dropped on the Switch. This was sort of a shadow drop, but people are not happy with it. They say it is janky, a technical mess. I have a zag comment on this. I am
is your
zagging
comment?
on this.
What is your zag?
I like games like this where they have tried to shrink the experience down into a
Like handheld kind of thing?
well, so maybe that's where this argument falls apart, because this was originally an Xbox 360 game. It's not like a current
Right.
game. So maybe they should have been able to do a better job. But I always liked, this was most prominent in the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. Like you would have these multi-platform games and you would always assess like which version am I going to get?
Right.
And it's like, the GameCube.
This one looks pretty janky.
Right. It was always like the Xbox version was always really nice, but it was
Right.
like, the PS2 version doesn't look so sharp, but I would have rather play it on that controller than the GameCube
Yeah.
controller, which is kind of weird. it seems like these days you don't get as much of this where everything is just exactly the same.
Right.
Pick whatever version you want. That's why I like the Doom port on the Switch. It's like...
Oh, yeah, because that one's like, obviously it's not going to look as nice.
It's highly compromised, but they're making it work. I played through all of Witcher 3 on the Switch. Highly compromised.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun to play it that way.
Right.
I would love to see... warts and all, I would love for them to just try to get more of these games on the Switch.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fun, and I'm willing to overlook a lot of the problems.
That's true.
A lot of people aren't.
The convenience of handheld
Right.
and like the convenience of like taking it with you places.
Right.
Like I definitely will give a lot of leeway to games like that.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one, but there's just something appealing of like they tried their best with this,
Aw.
and it's
a
like,
little endearing.
It's like a shadow of itself, but the core of it is still there.
As long as the core of it is still there, I
Right.
think then you can let it pass,
Right.
I'm not the biggest Alan Wake fan though, so
Yeah, I'm not either.
super interested in
But
it.
again, when I saw this, I was like, oh, people seem mad about this, but I am not mad at all.
I'm not a big graphics person either.
I kind of like it.
Like I'm just
You're
like,
not on Digital Foundry?
No.
What?
Unfortunately,
You're not a platinum
no.
member?
I'm not.
You're not counting frames?
Unfortunately.
We should try and count frames. That would be funny.
Is that 4 or I can't do
How
that.
does that work?
I don't know.
People like, oh, especially like for fighting game people, like, oh, I counted the frames. It's like, how did you do
that?
You're like a savant? Like, what? How
you
does this
pause
work?
it, or?
I mean, I guess you could like record it and go like,
Yeah.
frame by
in, like,
frame, but-
Premiere, you can look at it frame by frame.
oh my gosh, people.
I don't think that's gonna be good for
Yeah.
us. We'd be bad at that.
All right, let's not do that.
Okay.
That is all for the news, and now on to questions.
No, we have one more thing. Bayonetta voice actress.
Oh, thank you for reminding
I
me.
told you to add it to the list, and you were like, "No, we'll remember."
That's
And then
why
we
there's 2 of us here.
Absolutely forgot.
That's why there's 2 of us.
So, real quick, because we don't want to dwell on this any longer, because we're kind of over it. But there was a thing that came out this morning,
Right.
From Helena Taylor. What's her?
The actress
The actress.
in question. Yes.
Helena, from her Twitter,
Yeah.
that basically, confirmed Jason Schreier's story from earlier this week about the actual amount being not $4,000 but $15,000.
But that was like a follow-up offer
Follow-up
after the original offer had been declined, right?
Yeah, there was an original offer that was like around $10,000, and then there was a follow-up offer around
Sure.
$15,000. Both were rejected, and then there was an offer of $4,000 to do a cameo.
Right.
Anyways, numbers aside, I think what we said last week about this still is what we think. Obviously, there's like a weird non-standardization of rates and stuff like
Right.
that in this VA industry that seems maybe problematic, that needs to be figured out and standardized.
Yeah.
or some sort of like there should be some sort of other way to determine what is a fair amount to pay somebody to do this work.
Yeah.
So that they can live and have enough money to live their lives. So that's one thing, like neither here nor there with the actual amount. It's the perceived, I think, fairness of the payment by this actress. And the other thing I think is that it doesn't really discount what we were saying about Platinum Games and potentially their continued struggle with like their finances. Like it could be this could be additional layers to that, and obviously, like we were saying before, 2 sides to the story, and a little murky, and it doesn't change our opinion about buying the game or anything like that, or supporting this game and the other developers that worked on it.
Yeah.
So.
I don't have too much more to say about this. I think we're both kind of over it at this point. I mean, it seems like every day there's some new little tidbit
Wrinkle
that comes out.
Yeah.
My takeaways are pay people what they should be paid, what their value is.
Right.
And also, sure does stink when your dirty laundry airs out on the internet.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
Exactly. And definitely like remember that there's always 2 sides to every story, and that is don't jump to a conclusion like and freak out.
Yeah.
When
Remember that when all this crumbles. Crashes and burns. Don't listen to your story. Listen to my story. I have the
2
true account.
sides.
I'm going to Jason
2
Schreier
sides.
first.
He's my friend.
He really likes me a lot. Too.
I don't know about that. Okay. All right. Now.
Can I move on now? You got some other.
Move on to the questions from
Okay.
a wonderful Patreon
Great.
family.
First question is from Shurikan. Hey, Kit and Krysta, who got the Nintendo Minute YouTube revenue? If there was any, I don't know how it works when a business has a YouTube channel. Did you guys get paid more for doing Nintendo Minute, or did you guys essentially make a Nintendo Minute for free? Great follow-up from this last news story.
We weren't paid at all.
So, there is no ad revenue. The channel is not monetized.
Right.
It is basically just a promotional only venture.
And that's what most brands do.
I do think it's weird when you come on a brand channel and they've got ads running or they've got like some partnership that they're doing. It's like you're kind of overstepping.
It's kind of weird.
A little bit here for what this is.
Right. It's definitely like a promotional vehicle.
Right.
To get your news and stuff.
Exactly. So that was not a factor on any of the Nintendo channels.
Right.
Did we get paid more for doing Nintendo Minute?
Absolutely not.
No, we did not.
We absolutely did not get paid more.
Not part of our job descriptions. This was just kind of like a special bonus thing. I mean, I never did it, but I always felt like if we had said, hey, can we get X amount more money because we're doing this thing? They would have said, why don't you stop doing the thing?
Exactly. Yeah. There was almost like an opposite effect of like, this is not actually your day-to-day job. So not only are we not paying you, but if it interferes with your day-to-day job, you need to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we're going to be upset.
Exactly.
Right.
Gotta write those emails to Japan, not film a video. Get on that embargo.
Let me explain it to you for the 9th time. You broke the embargo, not me.
The embargo.
Captain Spooky. Oh, this is Captain Cinnamon Buns normally. Now he's Captain Spooky Buns.
But the picture is still of a cinnamon bun.
Well,
it looks real good too.
it's tasty. Hey y'all, when you work for Nintendo, how careful did you have to be when posting on your personal social accounts? Or when hiring new employees, how much did a candidate's online presence affect hiring decisions? For example, you find out a candidate had some controversial hot takes about Mario games on Twitter. If it's okay for them to just delete that tweet and move on, what if the tweet had been viral and many people had seen it? How much would an event like that impact their ability to be hired? These are the questions that haunt me at night.
It's a good question.
Captain, what are you posting about?
What are you posting about? Cinnamon bun hot takes? You're going to try to get hired by like Auntie Annie's pretzels?
Oh. Well, what do you have to say to the good captain?
Well, for our personal social media accounts, it definitely was, we had to be very careful.
Right.
Especially because we were sort of like known as, company spokespeople or whatever.
And we go through, social media training, spokesperson training.
All of which were
all
weird.
Of that.
Yeah.
And the company, like every company, has like
Policies
guidelines
and
and policies, which are maybe more vague than some people would have liked. But again, you cannot spell out literally do's and don'ts for every scenario you might have on social media.
And we would have lots of questions. You would get a lot of questions. People are like, oh, I want to be a streamer. Can I do this? Like really random stuff.
I never liked getting those questions because I wasn't really in a position to give a definitive yes or no.
Exactly. So it's like a weird position
The best I could do was interpret the rules.
Right.
But it was always like, well, here's what I would do, or here's what I would feel comfortable doing.
But up to you.
I was always glad to give that advice, but it's like, don't let me,
stop you
make your decisions if you really, if you
Yeah.
think this is okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there were definitely not an insignificant number of people who got in trouble over social media
big
posts.
Huge trouble.
Yeah. And that
led to some bad stuff.
Always led to real issues.
Yeah. Yeah. I was always like very careful and posted like very bland things on my social media channels.
Some might say you still do.
I do not. Excuse you.
Gotcha.
Oh, well, I try to keep it positive. I don't want to be that person that's like stirring the pot for no reason.
Sure.
Jumping to conclusions and stuff. Be a positive person,
Yeah.
In terms of the second part of your question about how it affects hiring decisions, I think it absolutely does. I think your online, not just for Nintendo, probably for
anywhere,
like any company that you apply to. Like obviously, if you have a particular reputation, and when you're in an interview process or in a hiring process with a company, like they're trying to get to know you. They have limited resources to do that, and social media is like one big part of getting to know you as a person. And I think your online presence is a reflection of who you are, and if you have a lot of negative things or things that a brand, a company might perceive as being problematic, like that 100% will weigh into the decision of whether or not they will hire you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just be careful. I would say like that stuff online never goes away, so whatever you're putting out there, it's probably going to follow you around for the rest of your life, even if you delete it or whatever. So yeah, just be careful.
The captain may never sleep again after.
I'm sorry.
You just said that.
Yeah.
Kaifi123 asks, what does Nintendo think of the secondhand market? Also, do you know if Nintendo are interested in combating scalpers? So kind of a two-part question there. The secondhand market, I think Nintendo doesn't love it, but they realize like
How can they do to control
what can we do about it?
Yeah.
The relationship with GameStop was so interesting because obviously this is, GameStop's where they make most of their money is reselling stuff. But Nintendo, I don't think ever really felt like they could do much because they were such a big retailer.
Right.
It was like,
what are you going to do?
We can't upset this relationship.
Correct.
So we're just going to
let them do it.
Look the other way, basically.
There were some programs that they did encourage that Nintendo kind of worked on as well. I remember like the trade-up programs.
Yeah.
So there was like some like gray area where it's like we don't love the secondhand or like the products that, an older product kind of getting sort of this almost like recycled treatment, but they would participate in like promotions like that. Yeah. So that was interesting. Scalpers. So you're referring to, I'm assuming like nowadays, especially like these retro games are really expensive or what?
No, I think this. So I had a huge issue with this in the last couple of years at Nintendo, where a product would go up for pre-sale. And it would sell out immediately.
Oh,
and
yes,
it was like,
I see what you're saying.
If you want to get a new PS5, you're going to have to pay thousands of dollars on eBay because these scalpers are there.
The scalpers. Okay, those things.
Some people recognized this was an issue. Some people didn't. Unfortunately, our sales team didn't really see it as an issue because it's like, hey, it's sold out. That was our job. Sell it out.
That's
we did.
True. That's true. But it's not getting into the hands of your actual consumers.
And us and the communications team and specifically social media would be like, hey, people are really upset that this product they want to get, they can't get it. You didn't tell them when this thing would be available for pre-order. They didn't know they would have taken the steps to get it if you had only told them. So I would always beg them, like, please,
give us a time for when it would go up.
Let's pre-announce a time for when this thing is going to be available. Let's give the people the information in advance so they can at least feel like they had a fair shot.
Yeah.
Versus...
And then it just goes into the hands of a scalper. They didn't have a fair shot, and then they can't get it at all.
And it was always like, yeah, thanks, but no. We're going to just do it our way.
And they did it again with the Xenoblade stuff this last year. I remember that. Remember that?
I was going to say, to be fair, they can't dictate what the retailers do. Mm-hmm. But in that case, that was the Nintendo store, so they could have completely dictated that.
Absolutely dictated. I just don't want to.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't care.
Sellout's a sellout. Who cares?
Sellout's a sellout.
So, but this is such a huge issue that retailers really do need to fix this.
Yeah, exactly.
It just seems to happen again and again.
Yeah.
And it's not, you can say, we sold out, but there is a long-term effect that is bad with
exactly.
this.
And you're just destroying your customer base, doing something like this.
Darklink asks...
Darklink, the villain of wins now.
Next week, back to Link.
All right.
What are your thoughts on the last few Scarlet and Violet trailers? What do you still want to see from the game before release? This is a good question. They have been strangely releasing a lot of trailers, like weekly.
Yeah.
These little things.
But I was just going to say the trailers that they're releasing are either like, look at this new Pokemon that we're adding that's sort of a new design or something like that. But not actual game information. I still want to know a lot more. I think they did release one of the new gym leaders, like the influencer gym leader. But I still have a lot of questions about the different storylines that you can go through for this game. What does that actually look like? There's the co-op thing that we had some questions about. So there's bigger gameplay things that I don't think has really been addressed in these trailers that seem to more so focus on the fluff almost.
Yeah.
So that's my I would love. I'm going to get the game, so it's fine. But that's the information I would like to see.
I honestly don't need to see anything else. I do think this last wave of trailers has been strange to the point, like this is maybe tinfoil hat. It's like, we know the way they make these rollouts it's a pretty measured way. Like, they never just like flood it like weeks at a time with information. So this did feel off to me.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, are the pre-orders for this game not that good? And they felt like we just got to get something else out there. Is that what happens sometimes? It's like when the pre-order report would come in, and it's like, oh, what are you going to do? What can we do? We got to get some more information out there, as if that would solve all the problems.
That's true, yeah.
It did.
Got to keep the attention at its height.
It did give me a little bit of a whiff of that, of like desperation, of like just get some information out there, whether it's flimsy or not. I don't care, just get it out. I don't know, but it did feel weird to me.
Yeah, it definitely felt fluffier than normal for me. Like it just, again, it felt like, why are you, if you wanted to get information out, even if it's to help drive pre-orders or whatever, like why not just get information about like things about the game that people might actually care about versus like the fluffy stuff.
Right.
Like, it's kind of weird. Like,
And
do
then,
you not have that information?
And not in back-to-back weeks like that.
Yeah, but like you must have this information. Like just cut a trailer.
Well, at this point, it's just, game's almost out, so.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Maverick Nate says, hi, Kit and Krysta, with Nintendo of Japan building a Nintendo museum in Kyoto in 2023, I was wondering what sort of exhibits you think they're planning to have. Also, what exhibits would you love to see in the museum? I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that they're doing this, and I was so excited to hear that this was happening, and then also shocked that this is happening only now.
Yeah.
For a company that's like over like what,
right.
You know, hundreds of years old or whatever. But we always had this fear, you know, like when we were at Nintendo and wanting to work with the developers on some sort of either like historic look back at a franchise or a game, it's always like, oh, some guy has like the original drawings in his desk. Like we need to dig around and find it.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You know, like these pieces of like very rare and important video game history just sitting in some guy's like drawer or something like that. There's always this fear that like, if anything happened, no one would even know these things existed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing like them get kind of organized on this and really like archive a lot of this stuff and give us like a full, you know, hopefully a full history of some of these like really incredible like decades old franchises. You know, I mean, we have some of the artwork in art here. This is an original piece that I literally got.
Why do you have that? I still don't know.
Why do you have the Mario?
That's not original.
Oh, it's not original.
It's not original at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. See,
somebody kicking down this door, search and seizure.
It was like in somebody's desk, and someone just handed it to me one day and was like, "Here, you can have these now." This is why you need to have a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum. I've taken very good care of them, but like again, this is like where like, why is this Picasso in somebody's garage?
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of situation where you don't want that.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. The other thing that I would add is, please like do extensive interviews with all of the elder generation of developers.
Yes.
Before that information is lost forever.
Right.
And those stories are lost forever.
Right.
And it's already happened, you know. I think I've told this story before.
Passed away.
There was this guy who was the designer of the Famicom who came to the U.S. He was invited to a museum, and we set up some interviews with him, with Jeremy Parrish, who came away, was like, oh my gosh, this was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But a few years ago, that guy passed away. So
it's like if you didn't talk to anybody, like where would the story go?
Yeah, it's like where
would it be?
this information is not passed along or saved anywhere.
Right.
And we have a lot of people at Nintendo who are getting up to that retirement age where, is it just like dust in the wind? Like what happens to it? So it's like, yes, find the physical items, but also like
get the narrative.
Talk to these people for like weeks if you need to.
Yeah. Get it all on camera.
Get it all.
And they're so reluctant to do that too. Like they're so reluctant to like put these developers in the spotlight or like, you know, have them share those kinds of stories. But it's like it's not for marketing. This is just to like archive a piece of history, you know?
We have a show historian. They don't have a historian?
I know, right? What's going on?
I don't know.
Episode blah blah of the Nintendo
Yes,
movie.
and this is the other point that I would always make before because we pitched a lot of like documentary type ideas,
Exactly.
and they would be like, "Pfft, absolutely
Why would
not.
anyone want to
Stop
see
wasting
that?"
your time and mine." And the point was,
It was weird.
not only is this valuable information, this could be a huge business opportunity.
I know.
Are you kidding me? The history of Nintendo. Think of all the things: books, documentaries, merchandise,
Yeah.
museum stuff. Are you kidding?
That could be like a whole other revenue stream.
Huge.
Yeah. The story.
They'll just go on forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
can't.
an unending
Right.
stream.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways.
We had at E3 when it was the Link's Awakening Switch version. We had the past and present of all those developers were there.
Oh, that's right.
And we proposed, let's do an oral history of Link's Awakening from the old version to the new version.
And they're like,
I
no.
had never been like more pumped about like an idea, like historically.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Why?
This is dumb.
This is a stupid
We're
idea.
absolutely not doing this.
We're like, but why?
Come on, people.
Yeah, I know.
You're
This
killing
is
me
why
here.
I really appreciate like the gaming historian.
Yes.
Because he does go out of his way to like do these things. We pitched an idea to work with him.
I know. It was basically let's outsource documentary work to him. Let's give him all
Let's
this
give him
access,
all
and,
this
and he'll
access.
make it. And they,
his stuff is so high quality. Reggie was a huge fan of him.
I got laughed
and then
out
we
of the
got
room.
laughed at.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got laughed at. All right.
Who's laughing now? Nobody's laughing.
No one's laughing.
Ochi Brochi.
Ochi.
Good day from down under. Wow.
Wow.
Do you guys have any stories about Nintendo Australia? Seems like the branch doesn't have much of a presence at all compared to the US, Japan, or Europe. Or do you have any Australian stories or opinions?
Tim Tams.
Vegemite? Don't get canceled in Australia about Vegemite.
We did a Vegemite taste test with our Australian counterparts at E3, and that was
True.
pretty fun. Yeah, they're definitely part of our global, like, you know, the Nintendo global team. There would always be somebody from Nintendo Australia that would come to these big meetings. They would have a lot of their own programming as well that they would, you know, sort of ask for our advice on, and it was an open dialogue with the team there. They had a lot of leaks, though, in Australia.
Well, they had, so it was like their equivalent of the ESRB had a weird timeline.
They had a weird timeline.
where they had to
yeah.
file for this stuff really early, and once it was filed, it would become public. So we
Right.
would get panic phone calls from like the legal team being, oh my gosh,
Australia's filing tomorrow.
Australia's filing this game tomorrow. You need to announce it today. It's like, well, that's not how it works.
Yeah, and also
So,
it's too late now.
Thanks for nothing.
No.
Yeah. But that, I mean, this was definitely, of all these other regions, a very small office.
Yeah.
I remember they tried briefly to do like a Nintendo Minute type.
They did.
Video
yeah.
project?
They also did like some of that like more original content stuff. Like they did
Yeah.
that girls thing.
Right. They did like 2 episodes of that.
Yeah.
That was also like, it was like the Japanese executive training program was like, go run Australia for a couple years.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. They would always send somebody down under.
Right. It's like so and so has been sent on assignment.
to go down under
see if
to
they
do Australia
see if they can
stuff.
cut it in Australia.
Yeah, but it's always like some random person.
Right.
That was very strange. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's how we know about Australia.
that's right. Piano Psychopath, have you been late to work at Nintendo ever? Have you lied about why you were late? Were there any consequences, or was it more laid back in that area? Interesting question.
When I was a hourly employee,
Oh.
I had to be very specific about my hours because you have to do like a timesheet. So you would have to like track like when you came in, when you left, if you did any overtime. Not like a punch the clock situation, but someone was definitely tracking.
You
for
used to also have a
hours.
very long commute.
I
Very,
did,
very,
yeah.
very long.
I used to have a really long commute. Me and producer Stephanie were carpool buddies for many years
Yeah.
because we had the long commute together. Once I became a salaried employee, I think it got to be a little bit more manageable in terms of like just kind of keeping your own hours. And then there's also, I think the main thing is like don't be late to an important meeting. That's the main
If there's
thing.
something you need to be there for,
Like
you need to
someone's
be there on
gonna
time.
be upset with you if you're supposed to be somewhere to present something
Right.
or do something at a big meeting
Yeah.
and you're not
Yeah.
there. There's been times where we used to have this meeting on Fridays at 1, and everybody would want to go out to lunch on Friday, but you would have to like be back by 1, and there was definitely people that were late to that meeting that did not go over very well.
But on a normal day, like if you showed up to the office, could be 10 o'clock, whatever. Nobody really cared.
Nobody really cared. Yeah, nobody cared. Just as long as you were doing your work and you're showing up to important meetings on time, I think it was pretty okay.
Yeah.
There was one time.
I mean, I looked the other way for weird things you did all the time.
Like what?
All of the time.
Name some.
Tardiness.
No.
Yes.
There was a thing in the handbook that I read,
Treason.
though. Treason?
Company treason. Just some light treason.
Some light. We did a coup. We had a coup and a heist. There was this one thing that happened that was pretty funny. Like, there was a holiday that we did not get as a company.
Oh.
And then somebody thought that we did get that holiday off. And didn't show up.
Oh.
And we were like, where is so-and-so?
And they thought we had it off.
And then I remember calling this person and was like, "Hey, are you okay? Are you sick?" Because usually if you called in sick, you would tell the team that you're not feeling well.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What do you mean? Today's a holiday." I'm like, "Not for us."
Ooh. All right, I want to. You'll tell me when we're done who this is. That's a funny story.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh."
It really was a holiday. We should have gotten off though. We'll say.
I think it was one of those holidays that we just randomly didn't get off, which was unfortunate.
All right. Riven asks, what's your favorite game? Oh, here we go. What's your favorite game in Nintendo Land for Wii U? I really love the Metroid game, and seems to me like they could spin that off into its own full game, though probably not a Metroid game.
Find Me? Was that the... No.
Oh.
What was that one game?
Oh, jeez.
With the
you
Mario.
Don't know. You don't know.
With the Mario.
Yeah, there was like the hide and seek with Mario.
Yeah, that's not called Find Me. What's it called?
It was something Mario Chase, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was not...
Is that your choice?
That's my choice. That game was fun.
So there were a lot of games that were like based on that concept, and I thought some of them were just a bit more like had a bit more going on. Like I remember the Animal Crossing game where you're like getting candy. That was very fun.
Oh yeah.
There was the Luigi's Mansion game where you like find the goat. That was I really liked that one.
Yeah. Mario Chase.
The
Chase
Metroid
Me.
Chase. Whatever.
It's got a me in it.
Whatever.
Find Me. Chase Me.
The Metroid game, I agree, was very good and very like in depth.
I was gonna say some of them had varying degrees of it being like more in depth.
That one you really needed like a full group to do properly. But unfortunately, some of those were like so flimsy.
Right.
Like the F-Zero one, it's like, what are we doing here?
Ninja Stars. That was bad. With the you vertically.
You had to demo that like a million times.
Yeah,
at
Ninja
E3,
Stars basically like making it rain. You basically had to like make it rain with Ninja Stars, and I was like, this is awkward.
You were strangely good at it. I don't know.
Oh.
Another thing I had to cover up for you. Jeez, those lunch buffets you're always going to. I don't know.
All you can eat chicken wings.
That's not a Wii U gamepad, Krysta. No. Rob asks, what do you think about games with multiple endings?
Oh.
I avoid story spoilers, so I never notice that a game has multiple endings until I get the underwhelming ending.
Yeah, like Elden Ring and stuff like that, and Cyberpunk and all those games that have the multiple endings.
Did you get the bad ending?
I always get like a very generic ending because I play the game. I always play like the hero arc because I just don't, I'm too scared to get a bad ending, you know? I will say the most disappointing ending for a multiple endings game that ever happened to me was in the game Detroit.
Oh, you finished that game?
Yes.
Really?
I finished that game and I got probably the worst ending ever, and I was like emotionally destroyed.
Oh.
From that ending. Like
you like messed up a QTE or something?
I messed it up. Like bad.
Yeah. The exact same thing happened to me in Heavy Rain.
That's right. I got a really good ending.
Those games.
You got
I got a bad
terrible ending.
I
couldn't believe that happened.
I don't like the bad. I mean, I can understand why those games have bad endings like that.
Yeah,
but other games, like, do you really need to have a bad ending where people have devoted, tens of hours?
I couldn't believe that happened to me in Detroit. I couldn't.
Those games, I can sort of understand it.
I couldn't deal with it.
But other games, like
distraught.
Where it's like, there's 6 endings and one's bad and you got it. That never feels good.
It feels bad.
Yeah.
And it's not a good way to leave the player.
I agree.
It's just you're so sad at the end of it. It sucks.
Yeah. Last questions from vgmlife.
Okay.
You recently discussed the Luigi Death Stare and the Luigi Harlem Shake. It would be fun to hear about your involvement in the Year of Luigi. I thought it was cool that Luigi was given some love for 1 year in his 30-plus year existence, but what was the internal sentiment towards this promotion? Which of you is the bigger Luigi fan?
This is a good question because I think you had talked about last week where it's like, why are we doing this anniversary? Luigi is so boring.
This was where I flipped on Luigi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had so much cool stuff for the year of Luigi. I was happy that we were just getting to know the character a little bit more. There's some all-time like weird stuff that happened with Luigi over the years that is not a death stare or the Harlem Shake. Like there was the Luigi tennis incident that I had to deal with that we'll talk about another time. But there's always been like some weird something weird that would happen around the Luigi character, which I always found to be fascinating. I have a really funny story for the year of Luigi, which is when we had this big, like, almost like a yearbook for the year of Luigi. And we brought it to all these different events, like PAX and stuff like that. And we'd set it in the booth, and we have, like, we had, like, pens and stuff like that out for people to write nice messages to Luigi. Well, of course, everyone did not want to write nice messages. They wanted to write filth for Luigi. So poor producer Stephanie had a jar of whiteout.
I mean, she might have all just dumped it on the page.
Yeah, that she would have to go and like pick through to make sure there wasn't curse words or dirty drawing.
This is a hostile work environment here. Subjected to this?
Subjected to this.
Oh my gosh.
She spent a long time whiting out a very dirty drawing, okay, in the Year of Luigi book that ended up not being able to be covered up very well because instead of it
Just
being...
rip the page.
Well, there was other things on the page that were like really good, so we didn't want to rip the page. It's like instead of like a drawing of a dirty drawing in like black pen, it was just a dirty drawing in white.
Yeah, you could
white
totally
out. You
still
can totally
see
see what it was, you guys.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Why would people do that? Don't do that. If you're one of those people, don't do that.
It was fun, like having a whole year-long thematic.
Yeah.
I think that was really creative,
I like that too.
And I think they should do that again, honestly, when they have the chance.
Yeah, they were they didn't really like anniversaries.
It was very clear, though, like this is a cry for help. Like we are grasping at straws on how to promote what we do or don't have, and this is the best we could do.
Right. Usually Nintendo's not a big anniversary person.
Right.
Like they whenever we're like, oh, tomorrow is this, next week is Metroid, whatever, they're like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like weird that they have
like will Nintendo acknowledge the Super Mario anniversary? Probably, but it's probably a harder path for them to do it than you might think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Is that our last question?
That sure is.
Oh boy, we did it once more. Okay, we are moving on to our wonderful superstar shout out, which is one of our tiers for our Patreon. And these are people that we just love so much, and we work really closely with them on every episode of the show. So you can thank them.
That's right.
Or you can blame them.
We're going to thank them right now.
We're going to thank them right now, though. Here we go. Aaron Hash.
Ben Eichhorn.
MaruMayhem.
Eigenverse.
FromRaulWithLove.
Jordan Collett.
KissMyFlapjack.
Mike Chin.
Mr. Rogers.
Paul Gale Network.
RainTech.
Roy Eschke.
Simon Barrera.
Switching it up _
Sephazon.
TheSharkAmongMen.
vgmlife.
Link, the hero of wins.
Angela Bycroft and her pig Molly.
Nice.
Yay! Thank you, superstars. We love you so much. All right, and then let us shout out our wonderful One Up Club in our One Up Club graduation service. Here we go. Aaron Burgundy.
Adam Edwards.
Jean Malari.
Ale Alejandro.
Alexandra Pratt.
Andre NYH.
Astrodev.
Bagel.
Bookham Dano.
Bruce Stash.
Chancellor Fairley.
Christopher Lay.
Cozy Tar.
Captain Cinnamon Buns.
Captain Alex.
C. Roper 17.
Daniel Cold.
Daniel Valencia.
Dachshund.
Devin Does Stuff.
Doodoo Face.
Douglas Chomix.
Dino Punch.
Elite Peach.
Emma Scott.
Espars 50.
Ezrato.
Fairbound.
Fred Rossi.
Gar.
Garrett Hallfish.
Ian Shea.
Israel Izzy.
Jay Rando.
Jabroni Jones.
Jackie Z.
JK99.
JBJ.
Jeff Yoakum.
Jesse Hernandez.
Jim Wakeland.
John Responte.
Jordan Hammerly.
Joseph DeHaze.
Joshua Clements.
Juji Fruit.
Just Camtro.
Kai Commercio.
Kawa2796.
Kelp Shake.
Kevin Delane.
K Madman TV.
Krista Roddy Kid.
Christopia Party with Me.
Kyle Gamer Barry Rookie.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyle LaBeouf.
Kyler Nelson.
Linnell Stickman.
Lego My Froggo.
Lit.
Lucas Pico.
Mad Dog 5981.
Malferink.
Mamu,
Marky Man 64,
Matthew Rewald,
Mecha Dragon 101,
Megan Megan,
Michael Cravens,
Mikey,
Mr. Andy Pong,
Murph,
Mytran,
Nazar,
Nathan Burkhart,
Panda Buns,
Piano Psychopath,
Prince Charmless,
PS Wee,
Quinn Hardigan,
Reaver,
Ray Chiron,
Reed 031,
Ryuji Utsuho Oku,
Renee Rivers,
RJ Kern,
Rob Osborne,
Rox,
Ryan Hayes 521,
Ryanetta,
Sam Nealon,
Sharif Jackson,
Sheer Cold Vanille,
Shinryu,
Slowbro,
Schmiggles,
Silly Ferret,
Spicy Munchkin,
Seal Strone,
Thomas Alvarez,
Troopage,
Tugs Puppy Bear,
Tyler Geist,
Video Game Stupid,
Beautiful Dandy,
Virtual Bot,
Wicked Davy,
Will Ernst,
Will Johnson,
Zoodiverf,
Zelgaroth.
Zeroid,
Wow. We should say we met Mad Dog 5981 at the Nintendo store. Wow.
It was very fun.
He did not want to talk to me about how the blockchain could transform my life.
And so you talked to him.
I talked to him. We had a great time.
Had a
yes.
great time. Yes, it was awesome. He bought a great Wario
He
hat.
was in search of Wario merchandise.
merch.
Seemed maybe a little disappointed by the offerings,
disappointed.
but
Yeah, it was pretty
c'est la
slim
vie.
pickings.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you again so much for watching and listening to this episode of the podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Kit and Krysta to get tons of benefits and be part of our Patreon-only Discord and to support this show that hopefully you love. What else? Follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
If you are listening on audio to this podcast, please give us a 5-star review.
You're doing it.
Please.
You're doing it. The 5-star review.
5-star reviews, please.
Yes. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Okay. That's all. We're wrapping it up for today. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.